It's the weekend. It's Sunday. That's right. We're going to have some fun here on Midnight's Edge After Dark. Hope everybody's having a great day out there. Welcome to all of you coming from our editorial over on the main channel and all of you regulars. How y'all doing out there? We got a lot of possible people showing up here, but for now we're hanging out with Andre. Andre just dropped his recent editorial on the Josh Trank interview that dropped, ironically, I guess, or unironically, 5 years or so to the anniversary of the first Midnight's Edge video on the subject.
Yeah, that's pretty good timing. And greetings, everyone. Glad to be here and glad to have you all join us. So, yeah. That's pretty cool, I guess. Trank's back. That certainly brings back memories, at least for me.
Yeah, right. So take us back to that initial time period in the history of Midnight's Edge and Trank Gate. As first time I ever heard it was here, watching one of the videos of Midnight's Edge. So yeah. I'm gonna say you coined it.
Well, actually, I didn't. We took the term. It was prevalent on the IMDb message boards, and the one who coined it was actually the user Troll in the Dungeon, who actually would appear in the very first Midnight's Edge post-mortem. We invited him for that, and he would later go on to write a few videos for us before he became a regular writer for Heroic Hollywood. So yeah, he did pretty good. So that's who termed the or coined the term Troll in the Dungeon. Who, well, I can say his real name is Grant Davis because he's the writer now. Coined, so yeah, he's the one who coined.
We're getting echoes there, Rob.
Real name Grant Davis because. Hey, Rob.
Hey, how's it going there? How's it going, everybody? Excellent. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.
You're late, Rob.
A mother. I know. Now, where's
you've been called a mother
a
few times, huh? But it was usually followed by another word, right?
You're fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
Oh yeah. Followed by another word. I keep saying Tom's like Mr. Spacely on the Jetsons. You know, Shlomo, you're fired. Every episode. So anyway, Andre, continue. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes. Yeah, no. Well, of course, and Rob, you came in on time to do the fourth Trankgate video, didn't you? That was like one of the first things that you did for Midnight's Edge.
Yeah. There was the unpublished, the unreleased, what was the Morgan Kane thing we did, actually.
Yes.
Which I like that.
Yeah, that was I just never got around to editing it before it was like way too late, so it became a Patreon exclusive after that. But like of narrated mini documentaries, that was your first one.
Yes, the last installment of Trankgate. Yeah.
Good times.
Oh man. Oh boy, seems like ages ago.
Yeah, kind of was. Yeah. That
5 years ago,
very early. Actually, that would have been very early 2016. It's
okay.
It's 5 years since it begun, but we milked that for like 3/4 of a year, right up until Ghostbusters came and took over when Trankgate died down. So that was cool. But no, actually, that's pretty cool because the channel had existed for 2 weeks before that video. Because originally I wanted to get into productions and stuff like that with the channel, but we started out talking mostly about like comics, Punisher, Daredevil, and related adaptations, plus Avengers: Age of Ultron, which was out at the time, and then came this whole Trankgate thing with Josh Trank being fired from Star Wars, and that was the impetus to drive me into deciding that, you know what, we're going to go with this. We're going to cover the hell out of this because it was such a scandalous production and the dude was fired and there was no talk about it. There was no writing. I mean, today Nerdrotic would have been all over it. Geeks and Gamers would have been all over it. Clownfish TV would have been all over it. But at the time when this happened, no one were all over it. There were no YouTube channels talking about it. And the ones that did talk about it played basically like the studio spin and the marketing. And this drove me, I'm not going to say it drove me nuts, but it certainly irked me no end. How everyone who was like a pundit of any kind of note, they all fell to the company line, basically. Like everyone, they just accepted, this is what the studio says, so this is what we must believe, and the Fantastic Four is going to be awesome. We like this cast, we like this director. Like just pure spin. And I was like, can they not see that this is doomed to be a disaster? Like, there's no way where this is going to be good. Like, it can be interesting in its own right if everything works, but the chance of failure here is tremendous. And that is what basically motivated me to write that first mini documentary. Which is like 5 minutes long, so everyone should go check that out for a nostalgia
5 years
trip.
and 5 minutes ago, so fittingly so, Mr. Stephen Walton, the author of the Fandom Menace Volume 1, and us here. And what perfect timing as he's come in right as we talk about the pillar of the beginning of Midnight's Edge and even somewhat of the beginning of the Fandom Menace in some ways. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Tom. How are you? Nice to see you, Andre, Rob.
Likewise,
Hey.
greeting.
Walton, how are you?
I am doing well today on this Mother's Day, and to all you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day.
I say happy Mother's Day to Rob because he's the best mother I know. Best mother, you know what.
Shut your mouth.
But I'm talking about Rob.
I can dig it.
I just see people.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. How you doing, Steven? Anyway, Andre was getting into a story here. How's your Sunday doing today?
Doing well. I've called all the moms. I have extra moms, and so
Extra
I called
moms,
so I called all them. My sister, my son's brothers. Be nice to them, and be enjoying this beautiful Sunday. Watch that wonderful documentary. The bar of excellence when it comes to video editorials over there on Midnight's Edge. Andre, congratulations, another great one, and it's a very in depth and a very good video.
Oh, thank you so much.
And we also have Ordsboard joining us as well. How you doing, Ords?
I'm doing great. How's it going, everybody?
Been too long, my brother.
Yes, it has. I've been doing all kinds of stuff around the house for the lady this weekend, being Mother's Day and whatnot. So I've finally finished.
Good man, Ords.
What's going on?
Do I know Ordsboard? I don't think I do.
Yes, you do. We've had him on a couple times.
Shows you how good
Can you get on camera for a second so we can see you? Maybe then he'd recognize it.
No.
He wants to see your beard.
No.
That magnificent
No.
beard.
He knows.
you got like a big ZZ Top beard. I mean,
He used to, but I think you shaved it, didn't you? A little
Well, I
bit.
trimmed it down a little bit. Yeah, I know. You know who I am.
He just changed his thingy too. There,
I change it all the time. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Rob's a visual memorizer.
yeah.
yeah, I like visuals too, especially on drugs.
Yeah, that's where Rob happened to stumble across quicksand porn. But anyway, Bubwag sent us MX $20.
Ka-ching. I don't have my sounds up yet. Ka-ching. Boag, 20 Mexican dollars. Here to ask again about One Punch Man. Have a taco.
Ooh, good. I will have a taco. I'm aware of it. I haven't heard much of anything about it as far as like what's going on outside of what's already just pretty much available by Googling it. Andre, you know anything about it?
Only thing I know about it is that someone, and maybe it's you who did that, who alerted me on Twitter that this is something that I apparently should be talking about, and I haven't had time to research it. So as of this moment, I have no clue what One Punch Man is. what's the significance of it, if anything's happened to it. I know some links have been sent to me, but I haven't had time to read it, so maybe as I have time to get into it, I'll see exactly what this is all about. But as of right now, in this moment, I have no clue what's the significance of One Punch Man and why it's a thing now.
It's an anime.
Oh, well, there you go.
takeoff,
Rob knows.
man.
Rob knows, evidently.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a supremely powerful superhero, and he can destroy just about all his videos, all his villains with one punch. Hence the name One Punch Man. And he really kind of struggles with that.
So it's not just a clever name.
Yeah.
I think they're on like season 3 or 4 now. Maybe even more than that.
I mean, I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
It's been out for a while.
And we also have the Geek Blend actually joining us for the first time on Midnight's Edge After Dark. How are you doing, good sir?
Good. Thanks for having me, Tom. I appreciate it.
Well, you've had me quite a few times, so I figure it's about time I return the favor. Larry sent us a super sticker for $1.49. We appreciate that, Larry. As we always
love the profile pic there, Larry, with the rocking Bullwinkle. So,
does he go my sleeve?
Presto! Don't know my own strength. I'm so glad because at the very least, because Rocky Bullwinkle's like 50 years old, nobody can ruin that. So
don't say that, Rob.
Yeah, they already did the movie a few years back. That was at best. Cthulhu sent us $5 as well.
Yes, ka-ching. Cthulhu, I heard if you copyright claim your own video, you can remonetize them. Has anyone tried it? Has anyone tried it you know of? Keep up the great content. I don't know. I don't know.
That almost blew my brain up trying to think about that. Yeah. Copyright your claim your own.
That sounds weird because you can have like multiple copyright claims on your video. And I don't know what happens. I imagine that if you have multiple copyright claims, then the monetization gets shared between them, assuming that they allow that the various copyright the people that claim copyright allow you to monetize it. But I don't know.
I mean, if you're asking a serious question, it's not going to protect you from somebody else claiming it, if that's what you mean. And all you're going to do if you do it to yourself is just give YouTube 30% more than they already were going to get. Because I'm sure they get that 30% with every claim. So, I mean, I can't verify that, but I'm just guessing because knowing them. But yeah. So anyway, Andre, you were talking about the whole Trank business here. Geek Blend, that's where we were at. He was kind of at the beginning because Andre doesn't have too much time to hang with us, but he's going to hang for a little bit here. So needless to say, this was kind of the inspiration to change Midnight's Edge from just a comic book chit chat channel to what it is kind of today, pretty much is what you were saying.
Yeah, kind of. Like the intention of doing that was always there, but it sped up the plans significantly because it was a production that really, really annoyed me and no one were covering it. If you went into YouTube at the time and you wanted basically some kind of analysis or take on what's really going on here with Fant 4 Stick, if you did that now 5 years ago, the only channel that was really covering it was Midnight's Edge, and outside of Midnight's Edge, it was no one, nothing other than like the company line, and that's part of the reason that drove me into covering it. And then, of course, later, more and more started covering it as the movie approached the premiere. But much of that coverage was just like repeating what we already had said. So I'm quite happy with the coverage that we had there. And especially now in light of Trank's interview, where he basically just confirmed everything that we reported and that the trades reported at the time. It was all true. It was all horribly true, every last bit of it.
So was that an editorial based on inside information that you were getting at the time?
You mean this editorial?
Or the first one?
No, the very first one, that was just passively going through information that was in the forums and a little bit in the trades. And that's how it started out. We basically just reported all the rumors that were out there. And then later we soon got some tips sent directly to us. But that didn't happen right away. That was like closer to the movie's premiere, when we already had like built a brand on being like the Fant4Stick channel.
Mm-hmm.
But the first few videos, they were just scouring through every single rumor that was out there. Like, the more unconfirmed, the better. They were the really juicy ones, and they were the ones that later turned out to be accurate.
There you have it. Parrot had sent us a $2 super chat. Steven, have you loved the Djinn yet?
Jinn. No,
The Djinn.
I still haven't gone back to the Jinn. I don't know if I can.
You know,
Yeah,
I went
read
to the gym
Djinn.
once. I went to the gym once and never went back. You know, all that, you know, people sweating on you.
All that lifting and huffing
All
and
lifting,
puffing. I got to save that energy for whenever there's a possibility of maybe a sexual encounter, but not likely.
Gyms are. I was gonna say gyms are for people who don't have a yard to take care of.
You know, if you sweat,
Or that don't have 2 kids to take care of.
Yeah,
that too.
Right.
here's the, if you sweat when you eat, does that count as workout?
Maybe, Rob. If you're counting the calories, well, you'd have to figure it all out.
Yeah, you have to figure out how many calories you're burning, and you'd have to burn enough. But I mean, hey, I'd like to see if you can figure it out.
I'm game.
But you know, there was only one. You guys ever hear of a channel called? Should I say the name? Should I say the name of them? Well, there were a channel that YouTube channel that used to specialize in fan theories and trying to put some sort of basis behind them, some basis of fact behind any of them.
Mm-hmm.
They actually did one, which I did like. I'm like, because I always say all fan theories are wrong because they all hinge on the same 4 words. Well, it's not impossible. I'm like, yeah, but it's not true either. So, but he did one video where he calculated the amount of calories the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man would have.
Oh, you can say who said that then, yeah.
Okay, it was film theorists.
Well, cripes, you're acting like it's somebody who's like out to get us or something like that.
Oh,
Maybe.
no, but, you know, I don't like.
As long as they're not somebody who's like trying to like get attention off of us, then I don't care.
If I'm saying something deliberately bad about someone, I'd rather not say, mention them.
Well, you're
name,
not.
You know?
You're saying that their theories, because you've said this like 20 times, Rob. You've already said it.
Okay, well, anyway. But anyway, he calculated the amount of calories the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man would have, and it was all like, okay, he's 100 feet, and the streets of New York are 100 feet wide, and he takes up half the street, and he's about the size of a 10-story building. Therefore, then they're like, does he have a skeleton? I'm like, yeah, that throws a wrench into the whole thing. They calculate like 30 million calories he would have. I'm like, oh man, all I can think of, man, I want s'mores right now.
So Sister Harrow sent us $5. Guys, I love the deep dives and business side of the movie industry. You cover few channels, do it as good. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that, and we do it so you guys out there have to watch.
Hail to Sister Harrow. That is very true, and as I will document it, Midnight's Edge, the work that they do is an example of how to do a video editorial.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much. And also thank you, Sister Harrow. That's much appreciated. Your continued support and encouragement is very, very motivating to carry on what we do. So thank you.
So I want to get everybody's impression of the Fantastic Four if they've seen it. Let's start with you, Andre. Obviously, you probably went to see it in the theater, I'm assuming.
Yes, I did. That's actually the first big sacrifice I did for the package, I would say, because I went to the midnight premiere, which was actually kind of cool because it was like an open door screening, which was held in the fortress in Oslo. So you're out there in the fortress, clear sky and everything like that. And there was like this screening, and I've never had anything like it, because when you got in there, everyone was excited about the movie. And then as time went on, you could like feel the excitement just die off. And when people left, it was just quiet. And towards the back there, you like the studio or the local distributor, they had hired some women to be there and be like, yay, and shouting and everything like that. Trying to like hype up the excitement.
Were they like, yay?
Yeah, even
Andre,
they
is that-
shut up because they failed so miserably at generating any kind of excitement. So like the audience, they just completely lost the audience over the course of the movie.
Andre, is that the fortress that overlooks Acabrigga? I mean,
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Okay, yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
That's the one. That's,
I hope those
very
poor
good.
ladies got paid still.
I hope they did. That you could kind of like tell that they got more and more embarrassed, and like the final half hour they just shut up because they felt like that the audience were against them. And now we get to the sacrifice part, because then when the movie was finished, it was like 2:30 in the morning. That's when I went back, and I went straight online and I recorded my live thoughts with Kevin for the first review, because the movie actually opened earlier in Norway, so we were able to get a review up of it before it opened in the States. So yeah, not much sleep that night.
So Rob, you came in around this time period. Most of us already kind of know your story, so the quick version, and then like your first impressions of the whole Fantastic. I don't even know if you've even seen it, to be honest with you.
quick version of how I came to be part of Midnight's Edge.
That part first, and then your first kind of impression of the movie, if you saw it and everything like that.
Sparing the comedic interpretation that I was going to. You know, I was doing videos on my channel. I did a move when Marvel announced Phase 4. I did a profile video of the different characters, and then I got to Inhumans, and nobody had done an Inhumans video. Even who was it? Not who, I can't remember who freaking what it freaking was. Even it was like Nerdist or whatever, the bigger YouTube outlets. They're doing Inhumans. I don't know what Inhumans are. Derp 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 derp. I don't know what are the Inhumans. They're actually looking around at each other. I don't know what the Inhumans are. Do you know? I don't know. Do you know? And I was like the only person that I know of that did it, actually a profile on the Inhumans. And Andre happened to see it, and he said, "Wow, this guy put time and effort into this, and he knows his stuff." And he said, "Okay, I want," and he pretty much wanted me on board since then. What I think about Fantastic Four, it reeks of late 80s, early 90s superhero movie.
You're giving it way too much.
It is that bad. Maybe late 70s. Has anybody besides me seen the late 70s Captain America that CBS produced?
That's better than this.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I mean that's actually better.
That's what I just said. Yeah. So Geek Blend,
even the unreleased Fantastic Four from the 90s is better. But
you stole what I was going to say. But yeah,
so how can you get it that wrong? I'm like, how can you get this that wrong?
Josh Trank.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Geek Blend. What was your first impression of the film, if you've seen it? And other than that, when did you first become aware of Midnight's Edge?
I first became aware of Midnight's Edge, I think it was about a year or so ago, but I remember stumbling across the channel and seeing the editorials, that you guys were doing, and I'm like, this channel has like probably 2-3 million subscribers, right? And then I look at the subscriber count, I'm like, how is that possible? Because the quality of the
I'd have a car
put out. But just the quality of the content you guys put out is what kept me around, because it's so well done. And there's a lot of YouTube channels, of course, people follow that, we watch a few minutes of a video and sometimes we get bored back out. But with you guys, with your stuff, it's something you want to see more. It ends too quickly sometimes. And you're like, oh my gosh, I want to see more of that, because you guys put so much great work into it. But yeah, it's about a year or so ago, I believe, when I first found you guys. And with a Fan 4 stick, it was, I think I saw half of it. I think I sailed the high seas when I got a copy of it. I was going to go to the theater, but I was like, I really don't want to pay for this movie because it didn't even look interesting to me. You could tell.
The statute of limitations is up on that, but yeah.
It looked like, with hearing everything behind the scenes, I figured it's going to look like, everybody was telling me, half the movie looked like a different film than the last half, or there were spots in between that were, you could tell it was something with studio meddling. But what I saw, it was actually pretty boring. Yeah. And I maybe want them to bring back the Fantastic Four with like Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. I was like, those were better compared to this, even though those weren't even that good.
Ouch.
Those were horrible to me. I hated those two.
Nelson Sharita says with $2, Rob, nothing can be worse than the Italian Red Skull. Yeah, that was pretty bad. But you know what? That 1990 Captain America wasn't as bad as this thing, at least in my opinion.
Yeah,
I like that movie.
It has its qualities, in my opinion. There's some bad shit in it.
Parts that they got right. The 1970s version. Woo boy.
Right. Or tell us a little bit about how you came into how Midnight's Edge came into your world and how this movie registered in your world.
Okay. Well, for Midnight's Edge, I got into YouTube, or at least I started a YouTube channel because I was doing podcasts with a friend who was like really lazy about it. And I'm like, you know what? I could either wait around for this guy or I could do my own thing. Obviously decided to do my own thing. Well, and I was coming across channels like, Geeks and Gamers, The Quartering, and these were like being suggested to me along with other channels. And then I came across your guys' channel. I'm with everybody else. By the way you guys put your videos together is inspiring in a sense of like it makes me want to do better with my content. It makes me want to really focus in on the delivery of my content. So thank you for that. But yeah, I really dove into you guys after I basically started being a part of this the Fandom Menace. This is when I'd heard you guys' channel before, but was really getting into what you guys were doing once I signed up with these guys. And man, it's been awesome. Every one of your guys' videos is fun, and the comedy you guys bring sometimes. Oh my God. Big shout out to Mary Mayhem. She's a big reason as to why, I know a lot about what you guys do as well. So, but yeah, anyway, I actually recall the one time, I think I was Tom. I don't know if you remember, but I did a shenanigans with you.
Oh yeah, probably.
And, oh my God, I forget who you were with, but you were going, it might even be Rob. You were going back and forth and you guys were doing these voices. And, I think I pissed myself that night. Anyway, this movie, I never did see this movie. I couldn't even finish the first Fantastic Four. And to be totally honest, man, like, I might get shit for this, but the Fantastic Four was kind of one of those like the B list superhero like team ups, because I grew up with like the early 90s, Spider-Man, the animated series, X-Men animated series. Like I grew up with those, and Fantastic Four just wasn't really a prevalent thing, at least in my world at that point. So, not a big Fantastic Four. I mean, it's a guy that stretched, a woman that, invisible, a guy made out. It was kind of different to me. It was weird.
It was still okay not to like a movie back then.
Right. So, I just didn't even bother with
not
this
to
one.
want to go see it. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. I waited till I think the first Fantastic Four. The only reason I watched it, I think, was because Jessica Alba. But it's uninteresting. It doesn't look like it's my thing. Yeah, not impressed by the first one for sure.
First of all, thanks for the kind words, everyone. And secondly, there's absolutely no shame in considering the Fantastic Four like B characters, because although they started the Marvel universe, today they kind of are. And what's interesting about them, more than the four themselves, are actually their gallery of rogues. Doctor Doom, first and foremost.
Yeah,
right.
Annihilus. The cosmic side of it, like right there, is where you have like the cool thing. So the villains are actually the cool thing, and their connectivity to the larger Marvel universe. And that's one of the things that was so frustrating with this movie, that it only existed to prevent us from getting a richer MCU. So if you haven't seen it, you really haven't missed out in the slightest. Like the only redeeming feature with it is like how bad it is and how interesting it is, just because of what went into making it, or rather the chaos that went into it. And it's not just Drank's Fox. Fox should never have greenlit it. It begins there. They should never have paired him with it, and they should never have made it to begin with. And everything just collapsed from there.
Right.
Well, they had lost the rights to Daredevil just before that, and
Yes.
then all of a sudden Daredevil becomes this huge hit on Netflix, and there's
That was
like
after this, but yeah.
that was after that. But I'm like that just added insult to injury.
Well, everything did, because even Marvel shut down Fantastic Four in the comics division. They actively shut down any toys. Plus, on top of that, they were doing the same thing to X-Men, even though X-Men is arguably one of their most popular brands. So yeah, they were that self-destructive, and just to not let Fox succeed with this in any way, shape, or form.
That was all Ike Perlmutter.
Yeah.
He was the one who decreed that. The coolest thing though was when they killed the cast of the movie in the comics, because they had the Punisher blow up some lookalikes of the Fantastic cast. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. But the thing is that they couldn't afford. They knew it was only a matter of time. They had to move. And was Tom Rothman? He was still head of Fox at the time.
At this time, yes.
He was no longer at the in charge when the movie opened, but he was the one who got it made.
Yeah. So pretty much, from what I heard, he had said, "Yeah, go ahead, do what you want, kid."
Pretty much, I'm imagining.
We have a Fantastic Four movie.
Because like Andre said, not just in this editorial, but it's been well known, is like, they had to for the rights, which will get me to my point here in a moment. We got to hear what Steven wants to say, or Steven has to say right after this super chat real quick. Culture Casino sent us $4.99. Hail friends, just listening to you while doing Mother's Day with the moms. Your content inspires us all. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Thank you so much, Culture Casino. Hopefully we'll have you on sometime soon as well. So Steven, same questions if you've seen the movie, and when you first came into when Midnight's Edge came into existence in your world.
I tapped out on Fantastic Four about 20 minutes in, and I don't think I've ever been back.
You gave it a shot.
I did. I tried. Like Ord said, Jessica Alba left an impression on me, and she wasn't in that one. Although the actors in that film are fine actors, just the film itself was subpar, in my opinion. Hail to Culture Casino. He's a great channel out there, and if you haven't subscribed to everybody on this panel, please do so, and give Culture Casino's channel a try. He's a very good content creator.
That's great stuff.
Inspired by, like myself, by people like Midnight's Edge. I found Midnight's Edge, probably after The Last Jedi. Like most of us in the Fandom Menace circles. Started out at Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic. What really drew me to it was seeing the toy videos from World Class Bullshitters, Jeff Hicks, and how well those videos were done. Jeff was doing a lot of really good work. He still does, but at that time, when I first came to really watching YouTube, Jeff was doing a lot of great work. I was also a fan of Gary Nerdrotic, Overlord DVD, Hail Lord Doomcock. With that respect, we reject.
Hail.
I heard Mecha Random 42, who I've been following for a long time.
She's in the chat.
Yeah, hail to Mecca, because I'm a Star Trek fan at heart, and she was doing some talk about Discovery, and I was feeling everything she was saying, and she shouted you guys out in a video, and so I came over to check out Midnight's Edge, and I found basically the same thing that I thought that Jeff was doing, just really good editorials. And I've been hooked on your channel ever since, and the quality just keeps getting better, and your team does a really great job, Andre. You've really assembled a good group of people that not only assist in creating great videos for you in the editing process, but also reach out to other people in the community and continue the tradition that started from the first wave Fandom Menacers, those founding voices of reaching out, networking, and helping one another. And Tom and Rob do that a lot. They come around to us little channels and hang out. without prejudice. And we really appreciate that and the support that Midnight's Edge has for not only the Fandom Menace and the geek community, but for other channels, allowing us a platform and a place to speak and showcase our talents. We appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, thanks for the kind words. And massive kudos to Tom and Rob. I couldn't do this without them.
yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of, like I said, just we love to give everybody a voice that we can. On top of when Rob and I get to go out in other places, that's kind of fun for us. So I mean, at the same time, it's it's nice to be able to let loose and hang out in somebody else's house sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, they really appreciate it. When somebody when I see Tom or Rob jump into a chat, for instance, I travel around a lot of the smaller channels and they really appreciate it. They really appreciate the attention or just seeing you guys or getting some kind of recognition for their work that was inspired by people like you guys.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, as a really small channel, for you, Tom, to even be like, "Hey, we want you to come hang out," like that's huge, man. That makes me feel like one of the cool kids.
Hail to that.
Yeah, I feel the same way too. Yeah.
If you do good work, eventually you'll get attention. That's how it works. I remember telling this little channel, they must have had 5, maybe 1,000 subs. Big beard, little channel. You're gonna be big someday. And he's like, no.
I think I remember that little channel.
I don't know. Not much came of him, but he used to own a comic book shop, and I don't know if anybody knows what happened to that guy. I'd really like to get in touch with him. No, of course you know who I'm talking about, and of course Doomcock, same thing. I remember Rob coming to me going, "You got to check this guy out. He had like 250 some subs." I'm like, this is hilarious. This guy's doing like a Dr. Doom bit. I get it. This guy's going to go places. Same thing. We've seen so many people come through here that have, just gone far and beyond what we could have expected. And, and that's all we can hope for anybody who has a small channel getting started is, that they can excel beyond anything that anybody can expect of them, because that's just a good thing for the community altogether. And, go ahead, Rob.
No, we generally we like people. We like talking to people. We like to.
Well, you do, but we got to tell you to shut up.
Yeah. He tells me to shut up. So so that's nothing new. I mean, come on.
I'm kidding, of course. You just got to get better internet so you're not in such a delay.
The internet company I use actually declared bankruptcy. So,
for God's sake, they did it 10 years ago, and you're just hearing about it now because of your internet, though, right?
Frontier Communications, with the service they provide, it might as well be on the frontier.
I was just gonna say, you beat me to that one. I don't know if Andre wants to say anything though.
Smoke signals are faster.
It's all the kind words that Stephen blessed upon us there, or not, but yeah.
No, I just want to say it's heartwarming, and it's I really appreciate all the kind words, and again, I'm just so grateful for the entire community that has sprung up. It's been there the whole time, but it's really come to its own after The Last Jedi with the Fandom Menace and all the associated channels.
Geeks and Gamers really needs to get a shout out there too. They
were
absolutely
absolutely. Geeks and Gamers were like the lead there, in addition to Gary over at Nerd
and World Class, and
and that's kind of like the irony is that that's what inspired Midnight's Edge. It was the absence of those voices. I mean, I'm sure that those voices, they were there, but they weren't as easily found. Like, you could go and search on YouTube for, like, for instance, Josh Trank, Fantastic Forum. There would be nothing other than hype and company line. So
right.
I decided Midnight's Edge is going to be the one lone dissenting voice, and hopefully more will follow. And I'm so glad to see that that's what happened.
It's also the way that you present your material. I mean, like Geeks and Gamers for me is where it all started. Listening to Jeremy, ranting, his heart just as broken as a lot of us, which brought basically this entire fandom together. And then the Doomcock, who I absolutely love, and I remember before 1000 Doomcock, and just the parody of being an evil overlord, upset that these evil people are not living up to the standards of evil and complaining about it, was wonderful. And I love that. But there's different flavors all over the Fandom Menace, just from different perspectives, whether it's Mecha or Jesse or John Talks. But when it came to watching a Midnight's Edge video, I knew that we were going to get information. We were going to get a timeline. We were going to get information presented to us that, if I want to hear somebody just yelling and heartbroken, I can go watch Jeremy or I can go watch someone else. But if I want to see why, the hows and the whys and, the supposition, then I come to Midnight's Edge to watch that video.
Yeah, it's that in-depth coverage, that that deep dive into the subject matter, and just not on the surface. This is how I feel, but accurate information along with this is how I feel.
Right.
Well, we appreciate that, because you guys, it takes a lot of work sometimes. But like, for instance, the recent editorial, easily 4 or 5 days worth of work put into that thing.
Yeah,
At least.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And that's nothing. I want to talk about the Conan videos.
Oh shit! You're talking months.
Really? I can believe that.
Well, I'd do something and I'd send it, and Andre'd send it back and go, "No, this needs fixed. This needs fixed," and we'd fix it as we were going. And then we got to a point where like, this cannot be one video. This is going to be an hour and a half fucking documentary if we keep going. So we're like, Andre made that. I knew it broke his heart to do it, but he's like, "Yeah, we got to cut it right here." And so we did, and then that's where it became what it has been since, is this ongoing thing. But and hopefully it'll have many, many more installments, because it is kind of one of my more favorite things to edit. As hard as it is,
I just have some more scripts to write before I can get into the next one. So
and that's the thing, is we get so many requests for things, and don't stop, never stop requesting. We'll always try to get to what we can, but a lot of times it's just the time to be able to do and give something the attention that it deserves from us, and to make it different from what you're hearing from everybody else. It just makes it impossible sometimes to get to everything, but we do try to do our best to do that, though. So
yeah, that's the most frustrating thing. It's like the lack of time. There are so many stuff that we want to cover, and we just haven't got the time and resources for it.
It's like going back. It's like going back to that Conan video. Like I'm a fan of the Conan movies. I never really got into any of the other media of Conan, and then because of the level of professionalism that I expect when I watch a Midnight's Edge video, I watched that whole thing and I learned so much more, and ended up appreciating Conan even more from all the information that was given.
That was the whole goal with it, because there are so many people like you who know the movie, but they don't know the story that's behind it, and they don't understand, why don't Conan book fans like the movie? What's wrong with them? And that's kind of like the perspective going in, and of course to share some really cool information like Thoughts of Doom. That's Proto-Skeletor.
Yeah, that was really cool to discover, because I was a He-Man fan as a kid, and so looking back at it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Just the presentation of the characters. It was very cool. Yeah, you always learn something. You might always learn something on a Midnight's Edge video. Out there, guys. And subscribe to these guys too, Geek Blend, Boards. I'm kind of trying to I've got a little bit of a fourth wave community that I'm trying to build with channels that are up and coming, who were inspired by people like Midnight's Edge, like Gary, like Doomcock, Mecha, the John Talks, all these great creators. And I'm trying to get everybody up to 1,000. Your watch hours are on you, but I want to get all these channels up to 1,000. And so I'd ask, please sub to these guys if you haven't. Checked out their content. Decide for yourself. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to everybody in the chat. We would be nothing without you.
Also, if you're oh, go ahead, Odin. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say,
I just called you Odin. My bad. Ords.
I was going to say, hail the fourth wave and hail the chat.
No, like, check out Stephen Walton on like Twitter and stuff like that, guys like him are great ones to follow to get to know the smaller channels that are up and coming. If you're looking for more content, especially right now when, you know, we all could use a little something extra to watch if you're not as busy as somebody like me when you don't have time to watch anything. Willie Woodward sent $2. Love to ME and Master Mofo Rob. That's right. He's a mother. All right. Rob, why don't you grab the next one? Or not. He's probably in the bathroom. Nelson Sharetta sent us $5.
Damn it, I'm muted.
And he's back. Go ahead. Now you're just in time.
Nelson Sharetta, $5. Doctor Doom is the greatest Marvel villain in comics. Why does every FF film butcher him? So amazing in the comics. So, of course, these movies have to change him.
Yep.
Because you have people like Josh Trank who put him in a hefty bag and have heads explode because they don't feel that, you know, the ruler of Latveria is very interesting.
A ripped hefty bag. Get it right. Matt G. Oh, go ahead, Andre.
Not really. That's just the reason. You just have different filmmakers that have different visions, and the filmmakers generally aren't too hot on the comics, and so they don't understand what's cool about them. I mean, just look at Josh Trank. He just wanted to subvert for the sake of subversion, and so we got this begless, homeless Doctor Doom whose armor was like a melted spacesuit on top of him. So, yeah.
Matt G. sent us $5, Rob.
Matt G, $5. Saw the Inhumans TV show in the theater. The same day I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind 40th anniversary in the theater. Guess which one was better?
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I'm guessing not the Inhumans.
God, you guys remember the Inhumans? How unbelievably bad was that?
We made it, what, 3 episodes?
Yeah, we were supposed to review every single episode like we do for like The Mandalorian and Star Trek Discovery and stuff, but I couldn't. I gave up 3 episodes, and actually, to be fair, I gave up 2.5 episodes in, because that 3rd episode, technically I saw it, but my mind had switched off and I wasn't ready for it.
I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't.
Did Scott Buck's career come to an end after that? I mean,
I think it did.
I think he's at Starbucks now, so he's Scott Starbuck.
He's working as a Monback. You know what a Monback is? You know what a Monback is? See you later, guys. You know what a Monback is? The guy who stands behind the truck, says Monback.
Diego Flores sent us. What is that, Rob? That
is Peruvian souls, I think, right?
Yes, that is true, and that's correct. I had to look that up last time, but it's Peruvian soul. So, hola, amigo.
Thank you so much.
Diego Flores, 6490 Peruvian souls. Midnight's Edge, Andre, Tom, and Rob opened up entertainment news, and Andre's background in finance, like mine, has motivated me to jump in trying to do new things since I am getting canned in July when contract ends. TY, thank you so much. I'm very sorry to hear about your job.
Sorry to hear about your job, but hopefully this other avenue works out for you, and you never know, right, Andre?
Yeah, exactly. So, absolutely very sorry to hear that your contract has expired. I hope that you will land on your feet and find something new, but also best of luck in whatever new endeavor that you're trying. I mean that, best of luck. I hope that you will be successful. And if you're just starting to create content, then be sure to point it out to us.
Yeah, and if you do need any tips, I'm generally easy to get a hold of through DMs and stuff, and I've had lots of people ask me questions, so feel free to ask if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them.
Buena suerte, Diego.
Yes. Willie Woodward's also sent us $2 again. I think he sent us another super chat before. Thank you so much. Steven truly is epic. Yes, he is. Can't be praised enough. Yes, he gets us all fired up no matter where he's at. That's just one of his epic talents, I guess.
Depending on the platform, you can definitely come and get the Fire Preacher on mine. But yeah, Thank you very much, Willie. Hail to you, brother. And there's another small channel right there. Check out Willie Woodward. Sub to him. If you like his content, of course, support things that you like. And if you do, please share it around, just like Geek Blend or Ords or Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge.
Mm-hmm. And that'll bring me back around. Andre is going to be leaving soon. The Gilk Man, how you doing, Thomas? $1.99. Thank you so much. Hail, beautiful panel, he says. Well, thank you. And we appreciate you too, Thomas. You're always a huge supporter of the community. I came across the channel with reporting like Fan4Stick. I mean, when the idea of like, I'm realizing I'm watching the same channel doing like this kind of reporting was probably around Ghostbusters. But I do remember the Fan4Stick thing because like you were saying, Andre, I was like you looking for stuff like this out there on YouTube and I wasn't finding it. And I had tried all kinds of other avenues already on YouTube while working, regular Joe jobs all the time, trying to support my son. And eventually I came across your channel and through that, your Facebook group, and, became a very active member in there. And then you came and talked to me, I think it was April of 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds about
because it was just before Spider-Man came out.
Yeah, because I was it was about a year and a half after Rob came aboard, and that was the period when I had edited every single video myself, which was a pain in the ass because I had to learn that real quickly. I see Black Phoenix says in the comics, I have no idea how to edit videos. Well, you know what? Neither did I when I started Midnight's Edge, but I had to learn that real quickly when Kevin quit. So, yeah. If there's a will, there's a way.
Black Phoenix said, I have no idea how to edit videos. I didn't either when I started, man. Just download something. I tried Shotcut. That's the first one I tried. You just, piece it together, learn. You eventually just learn. But it's a good skill to have.
Go ahead.
A lot of editing software is essentially the same. I mean, some works better than others, but you just got to get in there and do it. Got to get in there, get your hands dirty.
Well, and I mean, when I was first brought on, it was more of a correspondence, and I believe to just kind of do more with. Because I'm assuming, because when we talked, like I was doing just kind of like quick takes on a lot of shit. And I think you had kind of seen like some of my videos and getting the idea that I kind of knew, not necessarily the inside of Hollywood, but I knew the industry from a point of view. And as we got to talking, you figured out some of my background and stuff like that. And, editing and stuff like that was never really going to be a big thing I was going to do. But needless to say, the guy that we had brought on to do that, I know it hadn't worked out. And it just kind of got plopped in my lap. And I had just lucky I had some background in it in the sense of doing it for my own channel, but for semi-professional projects. And when I went to school, I happened to have a video and editing program there as well. But anyway, you were going to say something, Andre. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, yeah, that's exactly right. Because we had we had another guy on that was going to do the video editing, and he didn't work out. But the work that he did before he left, not all of it, but some of it was very good. So I asked you, like, can you do this? This is what I want. Can you do that? To which you said, I can try, and turned out you could.
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of made me a better editor because I had my own style. And I mean, you can see it with some of the, they're buried on After Dark here, but there's some of my older stuff on here. You can kind of see my old style. And then, so this new stuff is like, at first I was just kind of trying to emulate that a little bit. Then over time, I just kind of grew my own kind of form. And then to hear guys like, Robert Shea and Robert Meyer Burnett and Tom McLaughlin and all these other guys say very flattering things about my editing, it's just like you can't get any higher praise than that from the industry. I mean,
right.
There's just so many people who've seen so much, and especially somebody like Robert Meyer Burnett, who's probably edited just as much or more stuff than some of the big pros out there. So, I mean, just in the amount of stuff that he's done for DVD special editions and stuff like that. So,
right.
But Jedi Masters Zootopia sent us $10, Rob.
Jedi Master Zootopia, $10. I started watching Midnight's Edge 2 years ago and binged Trankgate and Ghostbusters 2016. I found your stuff to be well researched and entertaining. Your 3-part Spider-Man videos are great. Thank you for all you do.
Well, thank you. And also, fun story. Those 3 Spider-Man videos, they were written by Grant Davis, who was the one who coined the term Trankgate, which is pretty fun.
Well, there you go. That brings us full circle. And
those were the first videos that I did not myself write.
Tom, if you don't mind, real quick, Black Phoenix says, I do want to start posting stuff someday, so I got to learn. Listen, I'll give you the same advice Jeremy Griggs gave us all when his channel started taking off. Just get your phone out, make a video, and post it. Just speak what you're excited about. Just what comes out of your heart. Just be honest to the camera and post it, brother. And then, eventually you'll get into editing and things like that. So good luck, Black Phoenix.
Trust me, a year later. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Geekland.
Yeah, that's how I started doing it. I just got my phone out because I would always talk to my wife about stuff. She's like, I'm not really into this. So why don't you just get your thoughts on camera and stuff? I'm like, well, okay, I guess I can do that. And I just record a video, put it up. But yeah, editing, you'll get there. It just kind of, you have to dig in and just kind of learn on the fly as you go. And, that's the fun part about it too.
Yeah, I think a good way to start too, at least with me, I started with podcasts and editing with just a audio software, kind of getting, and they're very similar. They're not exactly the same, obviously, audio software and video software, but it kind of works on the same timeline, gives you an idea how an editing program functions. And that's where I started with it. And yeah, you're not going to know unless you dive in. And there's plenty of resources on YouTube too. YouTube is so helpful to me when I'm trying to get some kind of effect or do something different to make my content a little more exciting and stuff.
All right. Yeah, I mean, and Andre, I know you had to check out here real soon, so
yes, indeed, I don't know. I have to be leaving because for those that wonder, yes, I'm actually in Norway, not Sweden, not Finland, but Norway.
Tell them, Andre.
Not always a huge difference from those outside of our borders, but to us within them, it's sometimes a big deal.
But yeah, but everything these guys have said is true, and that's, again, if you guys have any questions for me that I can answer, I mean, the technical stuff generally can find on YouTube and Google, but there's all kinds of questions sometimes that come up that may not always be able to find answers for, but feel free to reach out to me. I'm always reachable. But Andre, yeah, he knows your first video, you're going to listen to it a year from now and you're going to be like, oh my God. Because the first thing I said to Andre when he sent me the link for the first Fan 4 Stick video they did is I'm like, oh my God, the audio.
Yeah, it's fun to look back at the things then. How I don't know how Kevin recorded his audio. I know how I recorded mine, and that was in this headset, that came with a microphone included, and it cost I don't know, $20, the equivalent of $20 when I bought it 3 years before that. That was what I had. And then we got proper mics and everything like that since. But yeah, audio quality has always been a weak spot for Midnight's Edge.
Well, and that I think was kind of one of the things I was supposed to bring to the table a little bit too, is because I do have a little bit of an audio background, if I remember correctly. Because the first thing I do remember doing in my big project was editing the audio for one of the, but I didn't do the video part of it. But anyway, I know you had to check out Andre, so thank you very much for joining us for the hour you did get here. It's always a pleasure to get to talk to you. Again, the editorial was amazing, so kudos on that. So
so was your editing, and also thanks to everyone in the chat. Willie Woodward sent $2. Take care, Andre. Open invite on my channel. Thank you so much. Time permitting, I'll absolutely take advantage of that. So yes, everyone in the chat, thanks for watching. Everyone in the panel, thanks for joining.
Good hangs, man. Good seeing you.
Absolutely.
Have fun and continue having a blast without me. I just have to.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get some female persuasion in here at some point.
All right, excellent, everyone. Take care.
Take care, brother.
Thank you, Andre.
Bye.
So yeah, I don't know if anybody else has to check out now or not, but
I'm good, but I want to give a shout out to Raging Rhino in the chat. I see him out there. Sub to Raging Rhino.
Yeah, he does great content too, man. Really does.
And speaking of female persuasion, we have the one, the only, the internet harpy herself,
Who?
Miss
Me?
Mecarandum.
We were speaking of females. What?
That's right. I know Anna might pop in here too, and if that happens, Rob, you're shit out of luck.
Hey, you think I mind?
I know you don't. You'll be like, fuck it, I'll go play GTA. I don't care.
No, not,
Well, we're supposed
not
to be
the first-
playing more Saints Row, so
Not the first time. See, I'm not.
not the first time I had to give up a chair for a lady. So.
And he just listens to for Rob.
And speaking of Anna, I was watching Mecca's video, which made me late for the premiere on the harassment that she was getting because of the Raylo video. Those poor Raylos.
Oh, Jesus.
those poor Raylos were so. Don't mention it because that's considered demonetized. So what they did to Anna is something that is probably considered a socially insensitive topic, or so. I don't even remember how they worded it.
Well, they had to harass her because, according to them,
Because she had an opinion?
opinions are harassment now. Well, they have been for a while, I guess.
I don't understand about the whole shipping thing. It used to be that you used to imagine yourself with a famous actress or celebrity or something.
You used to?
Dig it,
Well,
Mecca.
still, for some of us.
Some of us still do.
I still live in the 80s, so.
I self-identify
what I
as
mean?
living in the
Well,
1980s.
back when we were kids, the only access we had to was the celebrities, not the random person who can stream on any given channel on any given day. So yeah,
Right.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but the whole thing, the big it girl for me was Jennifer Aniston. Back in the early to midnight. And before that, Carrie Fisher is in the slave Leia outfit. When you used to imagine yourself as Han Solo or as being some dopey guy on Friends who gets to go out with her and gets the banger or whatever. But now people are that bereft of their that. I'm trying to think of the proper words to describe this. They are
undateable.
Not so much immature. They are that repressed that they can't imagine themselves in that context. They just imagine another celebrity for them to really.
I don't know.
Society.
You just cut out there, Rob. I didn't understand a damn word you said.
We are that repressed as a society now that we cannot
turn the porn off.
At these people.
Tell your mom to quit shopping until later.
Well, just get your house out here. I mean, I have gigabit internet.
All right. Speaking of Han Solo, there's some news here. I know this is stretching it, but we got a super chat first. Let me do that. You're right.
Mech 1164 found all of you at when STD was destroying SD. Watch sorely missing Rob's Trek log. Stayed for all you do. Here's the 5 more years. Thank you.
Oh, that's right. According to most of those Trek sites, that's all we have to talk about.
Well, I mean, I did just make a Star Trek video finally after
how long?
A month.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't even think of the last one I made before this one.
I can't bring myself to do the final review of Picard. I can't do it.
Don't bother.
April 24th was my last Star Trek video.
Remember all those rumors of Mark Hamill showing up in Star Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again.
He was in Star Wars?
He hasn't been in he hasn't played Luke Skywalker since Return of the Jedi. Anyway.
Yeah, 83.
Yeah. I mean, he's been playing Jake Skywalker.
Yeah.
Well, according to the direct beta, Mark Hamill says he is officially done playing Luke Skywalker.
That is not a good website name.
Not really, but
no.
I'm assuming that with the title like
cover
that
has one too.
Yeah, well, whatever. We're gonna stick with this one because I kind of like it.
Yeah, let's see what the betas say.
Yeah, fuck. We got this covered. No. I'm going with the beta on this one.
The direct beta.
They're more direct.
A forward beta.
Yeah. At least they're direct.
Yeah.
They always say that.
At least they're honest about it.
They always say they're done with the Star Wars. Like, I mean, didn't Harrison Ford want Han Solo dead in like the first movie?
Yeah, but they bought me a plane.
Yeah.
They gave me a bag of weed. It's fine.
They gave me a big bag of weed.
I mean,
and I said, "Get off my runway."
And let's just be honest here. I mean, like there is a number. There's got to be a number.
Rob, tell us about this. I'm assuming this is from Mark Hamill himself because it says he says it.
Yeah. So it says Mark Hamill is officially done playing Luke Skywalker in Star Wars.
I can read that.
As I stall to bring the story up.
You're fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
In the spirit of May the you know what Star Wars Day holiday. We can't say.
Don't say it.
Name.
Disney owns it.
Y'all own it.
You can own this shit, Disney. Piss, shit, cock, motherfucker, tits. Now you can own it, Disney. Hashtag May the 4th.
No, they were only saying that they might use your tweet on their stupid streaming thing for legal reasons. So some little ringing SJW or something doesn't sue them for using their image. And you put my son's picture on there, even though I posed with him on a public Twitter forum. You used it. You know that type of thing.
Yeah, totally. That's my favorite.
It wasn't.
No, Mecca's right, but I just love doing that because it's fun.
I know, and I like blaming them.
So anyway, so Mark Hamill was released. Yeah, well, anyway, so Mark Hamill's released a daily tweet commenting on the different aspects of our beloved franchise. Hamill did something similar last year as well, and plans to put out a tweet for each day of the month of May. Prior to the early 2010s, the iconic actor has said time and again, that he never expected to step into Luke Skywalker's shoes again. Use the word again.
He
twice.
didn't.
Yeah. Well, he didn't. Yeah, technically, it was Jake Skywalker.
Yeah.
But a typical lunch meeting with George Lucas changed everything. The sequel trilogy and Skywalker story are finished for now, as the rise of Skywalker, or the fall of Skywalker, as Gary puts it, is out in the world. And Hamill took to Twitter to spend a moment sharing his thoughts on the finale of the saga. Mark Hamill tweeted that Episode 9, or is it called Episode X, is bittersweet for him, as it was the last time he'll ever play Luke Skywalker. May the 9th be a bittersweet episode, knowing it was the last time I would ever play Luke. Well, you really didn't play Luke.
No.
Get off my lawn!
You got a ghost cameo. Yay.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill has been nothing but generous, forthcoming, and inclusive. What inclusive? What? Why? No, shut up. What inclusive? That's not the right context to use inclusive.
It looks like he's having a heart attack.
He's a liberal. They use it all the time, Rob. It probably means something, but you don't understand what it means because it's in their vernacular.
Listen, I lean left, but that I even.
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Rob, I'm right there with you. I'm a lefty too, brother. I don't understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Star Wars fans. He spent countless hours meeting fans at conventions, taking pictures and signing autographs on the streets, and promoting a franchise that, for a long time, he had been done with. Hamill's displeasure with the direction and role given to Luke Skywalker in the sequel films is old news. But despite his misgivings, he's still been incredibly kind to the fans. Yeah, because he's a professional.
Yeah.
It's just as bittersweet knowing that we won't be seeing Luke again on the big screen, at least with Hamill performing the character. Oh, don't worry. Disney will remake the trilogy.
Absolutely.
And that's the only Gary Nerdrotic was saying.
You don't say that.
And regardless of our personal opinions on the story, we all know he gave it his final. He gave it his all and was dedicated to giving us the performance he could. I think he left out the best performance he could. We are all eternally grateful for that. Mark Hamill has given to Star Wars and cherish his work as Luke forever. You know, we asked for Ryan Johnson. Actually, I asked Ryan Johnson recently, exclusive interview, what it's about Mark Hamill's comments, and this is what he had to say.
What the hell?
Oh,
they're
he
not
doesn't quite.
people, they're hippies.
Well, here's what Mark Hamill had to say.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
You know, you look at the video that you post of his face, which is just like the agony in that man's face.
That's heartbreaking to see that.
You know,
it looks like he's having a heart attack. It
I know.
legitimately does. Like look at his chest is like breathing so heavily.
Well, I love the look he gives him at the end though. 'Cause it's
there you
like,
go.
I could really strangle the life
can I
out of
kill
this
this
little
guy?
fucker right now.
Okay,
He's
so
gonna pop his head like a
This
zit.
motherfucker right here. This motherfucker right here.
it's one of two things. Either he's unbelievably pissed or he ate a killer weed brownie. It's one
Mark,
There's
it's
some
both.
in my bag.
Mark Hamill, yes, both probably. But Harrison Ford, he's constantly high.
Fucking tweet him the clip and ask him what was going through your mind. See what
I
he
probably
says.
can't believe what he's saying. You know, you had to listen to this guy for how many months and put this terrible rendition of Skywalker together, and you just can't stand listening to him anymore. That's what I think.
Well, you got to imagine. Okay, first of all, let's be honest. Okay, I'm gonna boomer out for a second here. Shut the fuck up. Yes,
No.
Yes, I'm talking about chat before they yell at me, but you know, yes, younger guys coming in and an older guy taking their kind of direction like that, it can be grating. And especially if they don't understand the character, especially if you're somebody who's played the character no less than 4 times, and they try to tell you, or actually 5 times at this point, if you count the Star Wars Christmas special, actually. Well, that's what I originally was counting. I wasn't counting The Force Awakens because he doesn't have any lines, but that, to be completely fair. Anyhow, my point is this: if they sit there and tell you, "I just don't see my character doing this," that's generally not an actor being a dick.
Mm-hmm.
That's generally the actor telling you, "I understand this character for a reason. Listen to me." That's a cry out. You know, it's not. You know, Mark Hamill's not the type of guy who's going to be like, you know, I want more of the lines. Give me all the lines. I'm not going to say names here, but, you know, there's people in the past who've done that when they're in a show or a movie and they try to get everybody's lines.
I wonder who he's talking about.
I'm not going to, but
I know Morgan Freeman, right?
Yes.
Totally.
And Elton John. Diego Flores. Send us a super chat, Rob.
I'm going to read this like a Morgan Freeman. Diego Flores, 6490, Peruvian soul. Question for you all.
PEN, which kind of looks like penguin.
Yeah, penguin.
Yeah, penguin. Let's do that.
Which bad movie had a good concept but a bad execution would you like to be redone? Meaning that another director took the baton to direct that movie in the original year it was filmed. Like a Twinkie. Like a Twinkie.
Like Solo? God, everyone went quiet at Solo. I didn't mean to mention that. I'm sorry. Was it like a curse? I didn't.
If anybody wanted that movie, that'd almost be a perfect example, actually.
Still not the worst Star Wars movie.
No.
There's always an answer I quickly go to because it kind of worked, but then it didn't in the end because they fucked it up, and that was Willard. But nobody knows the movie because the original version's good, but the tone's a little off. And then they
What was wrong with Solo? What was wrong with Solo? It was perfect. Don't you know that? My dear Alden Ehrenreich, he was the perfect Han Solo, and you meanies ruined it.
You are so delusional.
Frank, don't you have somewhere to be?
Besides at the pool with some coke and hookers? No.
Oh,
You
Frank.
cut me off on my goddamn allowance.
We know, Frank. We know.
Oh, hoop-dee-doo, I don't really need it, but I like to have it because coke ain't cheap.
That's right. It isn't cheap. Neither are your little whores.
No, they're not. Quality takes money.
16-bit mascot says the Phantom Menace. What do you guys think?
I was going to suggest that too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement there.
You know, at the very least, the Phantom Menace did give you that one moment when you saw Darth Maul on screen.
Oh, so good.
God,
when you pulled out with the double-bladed white lightsaber, and you're like, "Oh, holy shit!" You know, we name one moment like that in the sequel trilogy, in the Disney Star Wars trilogy.
We thought the Yoda moment was gonna be that, and then it kind of wasn't.
That still is one
the
of
Yoda
my
moment. Still was one of the best. I'm sorry, words. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that when Darth Maul shows up in that fight, that is probably one of the best, at least my favorite lightsaber duels throughout the entire franchise. Yes. I mean, it was something new, it was something different. Now, here's the thing: like I like the Phantom Menace, and that was because this was the first well, not the only reason, but a big reason is because this was one of the first movies that I got to see in theaters. Or, well, the first Star Wars movie I got to see in theaters during its premiere, so it kind of holds a special place in my heart. I understand the novels better. I know that the novels got some things in there that if they kind of would have went more that direction with the movie, would have been much better. And I feel like they left that a lot. But either way, I love it for what it is. And I know, and I was actually upset that they took Puppet Yoda out of that one and then put the CGI one in there. Yeah, he looks a little bit better, but I don't know, man. I definitely in for Puppet Yoda before they, did all the changes in the movies.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with Ors. Like the first Star Wars movie I saw was Return of the Jedi in '86 with my grandmother, but like the first event, going to a Star Wars movie was the Phantom Menace, and so I love Darth Maul. I thought he was going to be the bad guy for the whole series. I had Darth Maul posters, I had Darth Maul stuffy, I had Darth Maul blanket. I was Darth Maul.
I think everybody
killed him.
Yeah,
so pissed.
Yeah, that was the first mistake.
Now, Tom, can you share this with, or will it'll probably get acclaim, but I mean, if you guys haven't seen this is something I share quite a bit on Twitter. This video,
Skywalker video.
No. The link I put in the chat. I mean, if you want to see like a moment of badassery, this is it. I mean, I keep saying to myself, and Ryan Johnson, I want to bring something you've never seen in a Star Wars movie. Oh yeah, motherfucker.
Can't
what
show
about
the
this?
whole thing or play the music, but can't play the whole thing or the music, but I can show a little bit of it.
Ryan Johnson.
Just a still from where he lights them up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just where he lights them up, both of them.
Yeah, dude. This is a great video.
This is fantastic. Yeah.
We've never seen this moment in a Star Wars movie. Someone asked me, wouldn't he get burned with them? I'm like, no. Why do we think that? Oh, well, because no, he's motherfucking Bruce Lee. That's why he wouldn't get burned.
That's right.
Right.
Still better than The Last Jedi.
There you go. Oh, man.
I got to say, that is one thing they missed out on in the new movies.
Yes. It looks so cool when they're flying around, man.
How badass is that? Dear God. I mean,
right.
Where was this moment though in the news movies?
They thought that it was enough with what's her name? With the throne room scene with right?
Oh yeah.
And and when he swings him and breaks the lamp, it's like, yeah. Those are kind of
When
see, like you said,
that is bad.
That is badass. I mean, jeez. But again, we needed a moment like this, and we were shortchanged. We really were.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, every time I look at this video, I'm like, man, I can't help but think what could have been.
Yeah. What should have been, but it wasn't made for 50-somethings. It was made for shippers.
Yes.
And, when I saw the throne room scene in the theater, that was the fight scene. That was the only scene I think I really liked, aside from when they tricked us with Luke, which could have been one of the baddest scenes ever, but fizzled out like a bad fart. But I was excited because it was like the first thing that happened in the movie. It was I had been there for an hour and a half, and now something finally happened.
Let your hatred flow. You know you can do better than this.
It's just so. It's just such a just a moment of badassery. Here it comes. Ready? Ain't that? Yeah.
Right.
And he throws him down. Ha!
Love it.
Like, I don't need this
Love
shit.
it.
I don't need these to kick your ass.
Ninja.
I say Bruce Lee was not only the first Jedi, he was the greatest Jedi.
Mixed martial arts. He proved that martial arts were bullshit.
I mean, Ryan Johnson did give us something that we had never gotten before. A Star Wars movie that wasn't a Star Wars movie. Yeah.
Really
expectations.
You know, I mean, if you okay, the prequel trilogy, yeah, it wasn't great, but like I said, they still weren't overall bad movies.
Mm-hmm.
Last Jedi was just bad.
And the prequels still feel like
stuff.
Star Wars, so that's they can have that going.
Yeah.
Well, not only was Last Jedi bad, it was boring and weird.
You didn't like the slowest space chase of all time, Mecca?
No.
Was it riveting?
No.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Ryan Johnson did.
Yeah.
And then they run out of fuel in space and slow down. What?
My take on that
That's
was
how science works.
Who's their strategist? O.J. Simpson? We're just gonna follow him till they run out of gas.
Like watching The Last Jedi just makes me feel dirty.
I haven't watched it again. I haven't.
I think I've seen it.
I haven't either,
now-
and we're getting ready to watch it as a watch along on my channel, and we're, just really regretting that decision.
I watched it twice. Once in the theater, and then the Ivan Ortega cut. That was it.
I couldn't even make it through the Ivan Ortega cut.
Yeah.
It's like I tried to, and I even tried to watch the Doomcock on his Patreon had a commentary, and I just couldn't sit through The Last Jedi.
I don't blame you.
Now we discussed this with Tom. Tom and I, Mecca, we discussed this about what we said to ourselves when we walked out of the theater. We were like, "What?" My thought was initially, "Did I like that? It's a Star Wars movie. I should like it. I'm not sure if I do." What were we'll start with author Stephen Walton. What was your reaction when you first left the theater?
That movie confused my genitals. And you know what? So I'm sitting outside this theater, right, on opening night with my kid. It was a pretty bad year. This is the only thing we had to spend money on, right? This is the only splurging thing we could do around Christmas time, of all things, And so I'm outside with my kid, and we're listening to, Weird Al's Yoda, and The Saga Begins, and oh god, that other video, I can't think of the other name of the video, but we're out there just getting pumped up, and then we go in and sit down, and I'm watching this movie, and when I finally got through it, I was in a state of shock. I mean, my son enjoyed it more than I did. He's he's at the age where he grew up on the Clone Wars, so he was able to get some enjoyment out of it, and it was okay, but I was just I don't know. It was like I had taken a cup full of downers, and then I was trying to do jumping jacks. I was trying to be happy about what I had seen, but I was really confused. I didn't know how to feel, because it was the first time I was really disappointed in a Star Wars film, not just in execution or acting or editing decisions, but just the overall film just being as bad as it was. It was hard for me to mentally accept that Star Wars had just been that bad.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah. Geek Blend, what about you?
Yeah, I was confused. First time I saw it, I went with a group of friends. We were all excited about it. Luke Skywalker's in this one. We were expecting great things from that. And I got done, and we did a review that I actually never posted on my channel. And we were all kind of just confused a little bit. And I went to see it the next night with my wife, because she wasn't available to see it that night. And I remember asking her a bunch of times on the way home, "Did you like it? What'd you think? What'd you think?" And of course, my brain's like, I can't not like that movie. This is Star Wars. I can't not like Star Wars. That doesn't work. So I go home and I get online and I start doing some searching in the next few days, and I start to realize people don't like this movie. And I found Mahler's Unbridled Rage. I'm like, that's exactly how I feel. Right. I found Jeremy with Geeks and Gamers, and I found everybody else, and I realized that I'm not alone. I hate this movie, even though I'm supposed to love Star Wars. This is not Star Wars. They ruined everything about the lore. They ruined Luke Skywalker, who was one of my favorite characters as a kid, of course. And then to see that happen to him on screen, it was just heartbreaking. And then just it led straight into anger. But yeah, it took me a little bit to kind of realize that I did hate it because, like I said, it was Star Wars and I didn't want to hate Star Wars.
Right. Hail to that, brother.
Sparking News Podcast sent us $5. Hail, Scott. Says, big fan of the panel. Ask Steven about his love of the gin. Hail, Mead, Mecca, and Fourth Wave. Thank you so much.
The gin, Beefeater gins, great stuff. Yeah.
Scott's a dick. Yeah.
Yeah, stay away from Scott. Yeah, he's a dick.
You know, yeah, Scott brings up something from another live stream. I won't get too in depth into it, but a friend of mine, Immortal Coil, said I was asking about shows that I should watch, and he said, "Watch American Gods." Have you guys seen American Gods?
No, but I'm aware of it.
No.
Okay. You haven't. Okay. Well, I started watching this show. Episode 1, really good. Episode 2, really good. You know, it's a mixture of basically what if the old gods still existed, and then in the competition with the newer gods like media, internet, you know, things like that. Great premise. You know, what great story. And then in episode 3, it opens up with what is probably the gayest scene I've ever had to see. And normally when I see something like that, right, I don't care if you like gay stuff, it's whatever, you know, half my family's gay. I don't care. But, you know, me personally, when like a real guy on guy gay scene comes up, like I'm the type of guy that just taps on the, you know, if I'm watching it on my phone, I'll tap on it and just, you know, fast forward, 20, 30 seconds. And okay, I've gotten past, you know, what I need to get past. I tapped this thing like 10 times. Like 10 times, guys, and it was still happening. Not only was it happening, but it was like this mystical love scene between this fiery-eyed djinn in a magical desert with this other dude with stuff going on that you just would never want to see, and it's left me scarred. So thank you, Parrothead and Scott, for bringing that up. I appreciate that. I still haven't been able to watch that show, and I couldn't get to sleep that night.
Hail Sporking.
Hey, boner.
Oh God. Is it
worse than that?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat. I'm like, is anybody at the point now where they read LMAO and just say Lamau?
Everybody.
Yeah.
I used to make this joke that eventually in like 30 years from now, everybody's gonna just start talking in like, yeah, like that, like just the short version of everything they do now.
I've met people that do that where you say something funny like LOL. I'm like, that's not how that works.
Not just to that, but like to the point where it's like, you know, HRU.
Oh.
You know, stuff like that.
Right.
How are you?
Oh, for God's sake.
Like I'm saying, yeah, like they'll start actually talking like that eventually. Like
Like the Al Bundy Rotful.
Yeah.
But I won't.
Well,
Lamau, Rotful.
Even if there's a fire.
It's so disheartening because I do feel that there's inherent value in written words, and that, you know, if you can be articulate on the page, you can sway a lot of people to your cause and to your argument. And we've gotten so like atrophied now. It's at the point where instead of saying, hey, this guy's you see something really well written. Hey, this guy's really got it together, man. This guy's know what he's talking about. You'll get people. This isn't school. Those like Lamau, and they'll go into all the acronyms.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would you please just for once put the education that the taxpayers paid for to use?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. That's hard. That requires thinking.
Yes.
I'm not in school. I don't have to learn. Oh my God.
No, well, they're learning more writing on their phone, texting one another than they are in English class at this point.
And then they wonder why the only job they're qualified for is McDonald's. But anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you couldn't write something to save your life. But this is probably why everything's dumber now, because everybody's just accepting this dumber entertainment.
Well, now you got the chat.
That was going to happen for a while, too. This is why I've been kind of protesting the dumber shit.
Now you got the chat putting acronyms in the chat.
Yeah.
This is why we get Ryan Johnson, The Last Jedi, people. This is, we shouldn't even call it Star Wars The Last Jedi. You should call it Ryan Johnson's The Last Jedi.
Yes.
Just to differentiate itself it from the rest of it.
Yeah, because that's what Rise of Skywalker did.
Yeah. Yeah. J.J. Abrams, the Fall of Skywalker.
I mean, it was that, here's the thing, like with The Last Jedi. It was that moment for me when she's in the chair and she's using, is it the Force Awakens, where she does the Jedi mind trick?
Yeah, Force Awakens.
Okay, that's the Force Awakens. That's the moment really where this new stuff really started going downhill, because it made me feel weird. Like, this woman has no clue what Jedi are, or what she does know is whispers,
right?
And all of a sudden knows how to do it, and that's what kind of threw me off. Okay, we got through the Force Awakens. It is what it is. You hope the middle of the story should be the best part. You look back to Empire, probably one of the most well received, other than the original, of the Star Wars movies. So I was really looking forward to this middle movie, and it made me feel very uncomfortable the entire movie. Like, I felt like my skin was crawling the entire time.
For those of you that don't know Deviant Pork, Johnson is KK Strawberry. That is the simp berry. Recently, simp emojis on Twitch were outlawed, so now we are using strawberries that are called simp berries. Thank you, Deviant.
Nice.
But one thing though, I mean, Ryan Johnson, though, he did turn up on the set of The Mandalorian.
Oh, hurt Baby Yoda.
No, well, he better not. But anyway,
we'll kill Baby Yoda just to fuck with us.
I've always had
I've
always had the feeling though he doesn't like The Mandalorian. He doesn't like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. And this is actually what he had to say about it.
I hate that stupid puppet.
Ah, Ryan.
Ryan Johnson thwacker.
He would definitely whack Baby Yoda. Yeah, well,
Taika Waititi did.
He's having a hard time breathing.
Hit him.
Okay,
is him on the camera or wait?
Somebody said the Karen Strike Back.
Is it just me, or is anyone really not that excited for Taika Waititi as directing a Star Wars movie?
Listen, I wish I could be excited. All right, I'm one of those people that liked Thor Ragnarok. I did like Thor Ragnarok, but since then, I'll destroy your mythos in a minute, baby, and all that crazy. I'm not excited at all. I don't want another person with that mindset continuing to the destruction of one of our modern mythologies. Not that it isn't already shattered. Anything Disney Star Wars really is just pretty much, it's a growth, a bad growth, like a skin tag on the, what was Star Wars. But no, I'm not excited about him because I'm really, look, even if he approaches this project purely from a creative standpoint and tries to do justice to the material, I'm still going to be worried that he's going to inject agenda in there somewhere, or just have like Brie Larson there, or something just insane that he knows would piss people off just for the reason of doing it. So no, not me.
Oh, we need Brie Larson in there though. That's the only way to get any attention.
Mecca, we get a lot of videos out of that now.
Yeah.
I don't
Brie Larson would finally put the final nail in this Disney Star Wars' coffin. That would be the cherry on top of a very large shit sundae. And it would ensure that we for a long time.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that one, man. It wouldn't surprise me. That's the thing. It wouldn't surprise me if they did, because there was whispers of that before. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did. If they did, it'd be done.
Captain.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it either. So I didn't like Thor Ragnarok at all. I didn't like what he did with that. And then when he said that about the mythos, I was like, when I heard he was going to get a Star Wars movie, I was not happy at all. But yeah, because I absolutely hated Thor Ragnarok. I mean, I liked some of the other stuff he's done, but since then, it's just I don't trust him.
I just don't. I just don't understand why they're allowed to run their mouths.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Because
there's no social media policy.
No, well, they think that everybody thinks like them. Like this is
Yeah,
when we talk about
that's exactly right.
When
That's
we think
exactly
of
right.
the echo chamber, they live in a bubble, and so and it reflects off of one another. You know, so they constantly are barraged with their own opinions, their own thoughts, and then they look at the loudest people on Twitter. You know, that vocal minority of really bad people that are just loud and obnoxious, and they think that is a reflection of society and the way that society thinks. So in their mind, they're fighting the good fight. They're putting out this bad material that has an ideological slant, and that it is purposefully done so because they believe they are fighting the patriarchy or just fighting the Trump supporters or whatever the hell they feel oppresses them that week. And they don't realize that there's a hell of a lot of collateral damage going on right now because you're using these entertainments as a platform to espouse your ideology. And a lot of the friendly fire that's happening are people who lean traditionally left, like myself, like Rob, who don't think as far left as these people that want to enjoy these entertainments, these escapism, that don't want to think about our politics inside of our escapism or social politics or any of that. We just want to enjoy we just want to enjoy it. Just enjoy what they're presenting, and we can't.
I'm gonna go.
They're not people, they're hippies.
They're not even as, they don't understand their own standings, because I always try and explain, well, here's why this is actually offensive to come in and be like the white savior or something. I can out woke the woke all the time, and they don't understand. They just lack critical thinking. It's a lot of groupthink sort of mentality that I see all over the time, all over the place. And this is why places like Twitter are so divisive and so toxic, to use that word that they love to use. It is because a lot of people will say don't go and don't harass a person over a thing. Meanwhile, they're actually the ones doing it because they don't understand what the words mean. These are the same people who think that we don't like Michael Burnham because of the color of her skin, or I think they honestly believe that any criticism of anything that a person of color does in their, like acting or character, you can't criticize because they don't understand that. They just don't have the critical thinking to understand what words mean even.
Well, that's also multifaceted and supported by the fact that for a couple of decades now, you have had activists or people that call themselves activists that, run in certain media circles that always point the finger at race. It's always a such and such person attacked a such and such person, or, and it's all, so they're really, that's their support base, is this really, the mainstream media is garbage, and they drive more division and hate than anyone else. And they're the type of people that have been feeding to this demographic for so long. So they don't know, like you said, they have no critical thinking skills. They don't know to think for themselves or to look at the facts or to try and observe something from another perspective to try and get an insight on what exactly is going on. They just feed into the narrative and regurgitate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they don't even think that these are the same people who go around just saying, "Oh yeah, well that's just an old white dude," and they don't even understand how actually racist that is. They just know old white dude is the acceptable slur right now. And I kind of equate them to the 1950s housewives who would use sort of, basically racist statements back in the day about, whatever, and because they didn't even realize it was. They didn't realize they were being insensitive. They just recited back whatever stupid thing that they heard.
Right.
Yeah, I keep saying, please. And for the people who keep saying about how, oh well, blah blah diversity, oh well, this is so great, like, and I keep saying, please. Now I've gotten to the point where I don't even get angry anymore. I just say, yeah, you want to announce something stupid? Marvel wants to announce a Kamala Khan or a Riri Williams series. I just say, I dare you. That's it. I dare you.
I always correct them and I say, yeah, that's what really people of color really, really love it when a bunch of white people do things for them because they think that they're not strong enough to do it on their own. They really, really love that.
Yeah, it's like these people are trying so hard to cover up their own racism by cloaking themselves, in woke armor.
I don't even think they think that deeply. I don't even believe half of them are even racist. I think they're just trying to fit in with the crowd because that's what everybody else says.
Well, that would
And
be
if you're not
assuming
part of
they
the
actually
crowd, you're-
understand true racism, and that's what we always bring up is they don't understand what real racism is.
No.
It's like that one comic I've brought up before where it's got the one side, oppression, where it has, a Jewish lady with a gun to her head from, a Yahtzee standing there. To the other side is oppression now, and it's a blue-haired whale going, "You're oppressing me!" And it's just a guy standing there with his going, "I'm just a white guy," or whatever.
Well, I think it's also another thing. We are living in, all of us, most of us that are around the 30 and 40 range, we saw the birth of the information age, the early internet, the unfiltered internet. Yeah, it took 45 minutes to download something, but there was a lot of information out there. And now younger people are inundated with bombardment of information from all sides. And a lot of it has been taken up by medias to espouse their propaganda or how they want you to think. I mean, and this is just proven, and it has been done for a long time, but it's really accessible because of the internet. You also, because of all this bombardment of information and conditioning, people don't think any further than step one. Like Becca was saying earlier, no critical thinking skills. When you talk about, when Rob was saying, about diversity is fine in film, right? I have no problem with diversity, but understand what diversity is. First off, all Americans are not the same. We are a diverse group, as a melting pot, diverse group. Not all Argentinians are the same. Not all people in Asia are the same. Not all people in Europe are the same. Not all people in Africa are the same, right? You lump people together in the most simplistic term, white. There are many different types of white people, many different cultures, customs, religions, and backgrounds and beliefs. There are many, and then you take that group and you put it up against people of color, one of the most racist terms you could possibly imagine. You're talking about, say, lumping people together from several different continents, and those continents have different countries, different cultures, different tribes, different customs, different beliefs, different heritage, and they are different. So you really just generalizing most of the world together into a people of color column to put them into opposition of white people who are also diverse, not according to Leslie Headland, of course. And so you do this to create conflict in the most simplistic terms. So you are pandering this type of hateful segregationist ideology to the lowest common denominator of intellect and pushing it. And that is really the most disgusting thing that I see, is that not that the people around me on social media, just the people that are just a click away, aren't taking the time to understand what diversity really is. I have no problem with actual diversity. I have a problem with people being lumped together into these huge groups. I am not Slavic. I don't have anything in common with a Slavic person, but I'm lumped in there with them. According to Leslie, we're not diverse. And this is the type of mentality that's being pushed our entertainment, that these platforms are being used to espouse that kind of stupidity. It's another case of the dumbing down of people and of populace. Ooh, sorry, I had to rant.
No, you're absolutely right on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nelson Sharetta says it's a $2 super chat.
When did directors start to ignore canon?
Well, it's always kind of been a thing.
Yeah, they always kind of have.
Depending on what they're doing, you'll get just most recently in the editorial Andre did. He talks about how Trank got shoved into doing a Venom, even though it didn't come to fruition, by Amy Pascal just because she decided to make it happen. And he's like, "Oh, good, I can make Venom like the Mask." Which, okay, if you know the actual comics, that's not a horrible correlation. But if you're talking about like the Jim Carrey version, no. But yeah, the original version of the Mask is kind of like Venom, so that wasn't such a horrible idea. But then you get look at Super Mario Brothers. Now, of course, nostalgia value and just bad movie value. I love that movie, but that movie turned out the way it did because the two directors didn't want to make a Mario Brothers movie. They had no interest in Mario Brothers. They didn't give a shit about Mario Brothers. They just wanted to make a movie kind of like Blade Runner.
Not to mention the making of that movie, with the crew, they were drunk the whole time.
They went through hell making that movie.
Oh,
People
yeah.
get hurt all the time, and it's got quite a history to it. There's plenty of videos out there about it, but I'm sure Midnight's Edge has one in them sooner or later to do on the Mario fiasco. But yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for that, Nelson Sharetta. But yeah, I'd say hardcore recently though. I mean, yeah, probably between J.J. Abrams and 2009 Star Trek is really the first time where they really just completely took an absolute shit on Canon.
Oh yeah.
Raging Rhino
Well,
sends
they-
us an. Oh, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, well, like I said, they kind of that was JG, but they mandated. They kind of mandate that though. They said, "Hey, we have to update Star Trek."
Sort of, and I mean, I guess I give him credit for making it an alternate timeline, but that's like the first time I really remember a huge deviation from like canon. Besides stuff like Mario Brothers and stuff like that, that's never really been that ingrained. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, Raging Rhino sent us an Australian $2.99. Whoops.
Yes, Tom. I just wanted to say thank you. Hail Mead. Hail.
Well, hail Raging
Hail,
Rhino.
hail.
Raging Rhino.
Yeah.
Of course, we hang out with once in a while on some of his chats. We'll have him on one of these days too.
But like I keep
Good dude.
saying though, now where I just say I dare you to do it. I remember. Did you ever see Ruthless People with Danny DeVito?
Hell
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I dare you to kill her. Now that ought to do it.
If anyone has not seen that movie, please watch that movie. It is
I love Ruthless People.
It's great. It's been a long time, but I love it.
I'm being discounted.
Not big
yeah,
deal, but-
Littler's so good. Everybody's so good in that movie.
We asked for what was it originally, $100,000 or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
We asked for $100,000, and he said, "Would you take 30 grand?" Would you take 30 grand?
Bill Pullman is so dumb in that movie. It's I think might even be better than Spaceballs. His performance in Spaceballs.
Judge Reinhold's really good in that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole cast.
And not Christian Slater, Jesus Christ, Helen Slater, her brother, her sister, and then who else is in that? Well, Bette Midler, of course.
Oh, Helen Slater was Supergirl, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's never been a female-led superhero movie. Yeah, bullshit.
I don't care what anybody says. Bette Midler is an undersung comedius, or however the word comedian is that the word?
I think people don't like her because she's a little too political.
Oh, I fucking love her. If you guys ever seen the movie Drowning Mona,
oh yes,
I fucking
Oh my
love
God.
that
Love
movie.
that fucking movie, man.
Underrated as hell.
Oh,
Rob,
wow.
if you've never seen Drowning Mona, you need to see Drowning Mona.
I was raised by lesbians. I know Bette Midler.
I was them in
Sometimes, and Danny DeVito produced and is in that. That's why I brought it up
Yes.
too. He's like, sometimes when life gives you potatoes, you make potato salad. Well, life gave me a big pile of shit. What do you make with that?
What do you make with that? Yeah.
Her husband pipes up, shit salad? I want half. None of this 50-50 bullshit. And everybody in town drives Yugos, but that's another story.
When I first got a DVD player the first time, that was the first movie I got with it. Was
That's how it starts, Rob. Everybody in the town drives Yugos, but that's another story.
There you go. There you go. Spawn the reason why America hates small cars.
But they had such a hard time finding Yugos for that movie. It's a tougher movie to find because it was produced by this smaller company. I can't remember their name, like Revolution Studios or something like that. They released some movies through Sony back in the day. I don't even know if they're still around or not. They did like Bats with Lou Diamond Phillips.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
a couple other movies like that. They might still be around, but
Forgot that movie existed.
I've been searching for a high def version of Drowning Mona, and it's not available anywhere. And the DVD is out of print for years. I mean, I got it on DVD somewhere, but yeah, it's just one of those movies that I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
I used to say about how Young Guns used to star everybody. The entire cast was son of Martin Sheen, but nobody had the same last name. Charlie Sheen.
I love that movie.
Charlie Sheen, Emilio Sheen, Lou Diamond Sheen, Kiefer Sheen.
I'll make you famous.
I love that movie, man.
Me too, man.
Both of them.
I love both. Yeah, they're both fun, man. They're both great. There's I think there's a little.
We never got.
continuity issue with it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, it's one of those movies as a father that I get to watch with my kid, and something that I really enjoyed growing up.
Yeah.
And that's definitely the Young Guns 2. That was definitely on the list.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the continuity issue is kind of meh.
Right.
Because it still kind of sets up like Pat Garrett's the one who supposedly shot him, and they do show that.
Yeah.
And they do show that kind of in part 2, but they show him let him go or whatever, and then that sets up the guy who claimed to be him in the future or whatever. So like it does kind of fill that loophole at the end of the first film.
Yeah.
But I get you. I get that always bothered me too. But
Okay, that is the only thing that bothered me about those movies.
well, and then I think they found out later on that guy who claimed to be him wasn't really him anyway.
Okay,
they were saying most likely he did get shot in that alley or whatever.
Okay.
Well, we haven't gotten a good Western in a very long time,
Oh hell no! I wish.
You know what? Actually, I don't know. I think what is it? Kid recently. That's actually really good. It's based on Billy the Kid, but it's not. He's not the main focus of the story. Gosh, who's in that? I think it's. Hold on a sec.
Well, while you're looking, I was just gonna say I wish. I know he said Unforgiven was going to be his last one, but I wish Eastwood would just come out of the Western retirement, because I mean he still does movies, but just for one last Western, even if he's just directing it, he doesn't have to be in it.
Yeah, no, it's Ethan Hawke.
Oh, I like Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, the Kid. It's really good. Came out I think about a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe.
I'll have to check into that one.
So nobody liked Lone Ranger?
Oh, it's Lone Ranger, all right. Oh, you mean the newer one? Fuck that new one. That wasn't the Lone Ranger. That was Tonto with the Lone Ranger. And it was bad. That was one of the worst movies I'd seen in years.
It was.
It's not a bad idea to tell the story through someone else's eyes, but it's pretty bad.
Well, first of all, it wasn't my problem that they were doing the Lone Ranger. I've never had a problem with that. It's been long enough. The 80s one was well forgotten. It was, first of all, the movie didn't know what it wanted to be. 1 minute it's a serious Lone Ranger kind of thing. Next minute it's a hilarious over the top romp. The next minute it's a Michael Bay action film with trains blowing the fuck up, going everywhere. The next minute it's a goddamn horror western because you got the bad guy who looks like Freddy Krueger who's gutting motherfuckers off screen, which is actually almost as bad as showing it. You might as well show their guts plop out at that point, because what you hear and don't see is any kid is going to be like, oh, freak the fuck out on that point. Because that's I remember that sticks with me. That's one of the only things that sticks with me from that movie is that part. It's like I've seen 100 fucking horror movies. They cut that scene. It was like, dude, that was pretty horrific. Like, how did they even let that go in a Disney movie, man?
Yeah, that's
You know what?
And then then just the rest of the movie, it just goes downhill from there. Sorry.
Real quick side note: Chris Pratt in The Kid, he plays the bad guy.
Really?
Yeah. Interesting take. He acts the hell out of this movie, man. Chris Pratt does.
Is it on like Netflix or?
I bought it for $15 on Blu-ray when it first hit. I'm sure you could probably find it on some kind of streaming.
Yeah,
site.
it's probably on one of them. Hell or High Water, I have on Blu-ray. I just haven't watched it. I've heard that's good.
Deviant Pork said Django Unchained. I love that movie.
I love that movie, but it's still probably one of my least Tarantino movies. But that's not saying shit, because I mean, to me, Tarantino's like one of the best directors of all time, and he hasn't made a bad movie yet, in my opinion. So
it's like The Kid's on Amazon Prime Video.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they probably have it too. If not, but yeah, there hasn't been a good big Western in a while anyway. That's really kind of.
Yeah, that's true. Good. Yeah, good point. It's sad.
Western people keep telling me to watch Bone Tomahawk.
That's another one I think I got that I haven't watched yet.
Yeah,
that's the one with Jeff Bridges. Yeah, the last big one would have been. Speaking of Jeff Bridges, would have been the remake of
True Grit.
Yeah. True Grit, which was good. Yep. I got to give it that. Yeah, Unforgiven's great. Nelson Sharita. That's probably the best of all time, I guess.
Yes. Yep.
And Silverado is still one of my favorites. I really got
Oh, Silverado's great. Yeah. 310 to Yuma, I didn't care for so much, but I know a lot of people like it.
Someone else in the chat said "Load Some Dove." That's a good movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tombstone was completely underrated, of course.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Everyone loves Tombstone. I'm your Huckleberry.
Do you think westerns are rolling across a movie studio execs desks, and they're trying to how do we put a subway product placement into this?
No, it's more so they're just going straight to streaming, straight to video. They're cheaper to make on certain ends. If you get the right kind of stars, you can sell a straight to streaming video like, these guys were just talking about. I imagine that's where that kid movie come out of. Things like The Lone Ranger and fucking Aliens and Cowboys or whatever, Cowboys and Aliens, really probably killed any kind of.
I think they're holding out for
Christmas fault, isn't it? With that one,
I had a buddy who was in an independent film called is it Fangs versus Spurs. It was vampires versus cowboys.
That sounds kind of cool though.
Yeah, and then the Magnificent Seven remake didn't do that well, so that was another good reason why not to probably make it too many. Back to the Future 3 is a very underrated
Western. Yeah, it is a Western. I think I think movie studios are holding out for that trans person of color cowboy movie. And
talk to Mel Brooks, Blazing Saddles 2.
Right.
He rode a battle. The sheriff is a transsexual. Takes Blazing Saddle to
like during the chase scene at the end, he can run through a Rocky Horror Picture Show showing.
Well, they already got those gay guys together. Stick out your hands, put out your hips, or whatever it was. Yeah.
Right. Everybody doing the time.
One thing I learned though in high school history class though is that there were indeed a lot of black cowboys because the freed slaves would go and they worked the cattle farms. So hey, you know what? If you wanna, you want your diversity, there you go.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She rode a blazing.
Blazing Saddles, the quest for more money.
You can't marginalize trans people. They're not all jokes.
Starring Grace Jones.
Written by Leslie Headland.
Directed by Taika Waititi.
Get Mel Brooks out of retirement for that shit.
Hello, I'm Leslie Headland. Sorry, I'm around the building shooting you.
Leslie Headland.
It's defective.
She's got to go.
She's got to go, Mecca. Can you believe that they allowed that announcement to happen? I mean,
I think it was to distract from a really, really, really low from the fact that they were not giving profits, the profit sharing. The nobody's getting dividends on their stock.
Yeah, but how about pissing people off more? I mean, okay, Taika Waititi I can get because he's coming off of Marvel, and that's a successful franchise thus far. But if you okay, the Fandom Menace doesn't have enough to talk about, and we haven't really, done anything to, solidify what they've been saying about us for 2 years. Let's hire Leslie Headland, someone who openly is just openly sexist, racist, just terrible, awful person. Who also
she's openly sexist and racist to the right group of people, though.
Yes.
Okay, I got an idea for a video. I just don't have time to put it together, and I doubt Andre let us do it for Midnight's Edge. So if somebody does it, just give me a shout out, right? This is the idea that I just got for this video because we already know the number one answer. The best movies that woked before woked was a thing. And the number one answer, of course, is that movie is all about being woke, and it did it 10 times better than anything could be now because it did it right in its face. You got to have things like Mr. Tibbs and all that kind of shit. Just make a list of all those kind of movies that have out-woked woke before woke was a thing. I'm serious. No, I'm fucking dead ass serious, man. Heat of the Night. What are some other good ones? Come on, guys. You guys know what I'm talking about. Cool Runnings. Shit.
Cool Runnings. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. The guy that put that movie together was like doing heroin the whole time.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
There you go. Another great answer. Exactly. Oh, what else?
Blazing Saddles.
Well, yeah, Blazing Saddles is number one. Number one is Blazing Saddles because it outwoked woke before woke was a thing. Because that's the whole point of the movie is that there's never any black cowboys in movies.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll give you a black cowboy. MASH. Yep. That's another kind of good one.
Yeah.
Because I love the bit with, I mean, you could kind of, it's almost anti-woke because of Painless thinking he's gay and then realizing he's not. But
they had to share a tent though with Spear Chucker Jones. And the Southern Doctor, hey man, I don't know about sharing a tent with him.
True,
man.
that's true.
Hey, Ryan in the chat said a good one, A League of Their Own.
Yeah, League of Their Own too.
Yeah.
League of Their Own's a great one though. Yeah.
I'm from the town that movie was the team that was in that movie. I'm from that
really.
Town. Yeah.
Wow,
really?
brother.
That's cool.
Yeah, we got the old field. Not
that's
far
right.
from
That's right down in Illinois, ain't it?
Yeah.
I actually like that movie. Don't hate me. Don't judge me.
What did you say?
I like that movie. Don't
what was
judge
the
me.
Racine team? I forgot.
Well, oh gosh, I just rewatched it not long ago. It's a big thing around here.
Yeah. No. Do the Right Thing. Would that be a woke movie?
Yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire. That might.
Yeah, Miss Doubtfire.
Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire. Sister Act is another one. I don't know about Sister Act so much, but
what about with Some Like It Hot? I mean, it's a transvestite.
There you go. If it
Rocky
works.
Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror, of course, that'd be like in the top 5.
Oh, Rocky.
Oh, there's tons of great ones. Dr. Scott, Brad, Janet.
Rocky Horror Picture Show is interesting for the fact that it really pushed a lot of envelopes, but it wasn't. That wasn't the selling point. That's not the way they sold it. It was just it existed.
A whole new set of jaws.
When you're talking about the 70s
trailer for Rocky Horror Picture Show. You ever seen that?
Probably.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, you're fine.
No, you're good. No, I was just saying it was just it existed and people just let it be what it was. Whereas like this stuff, it's like how can we sell an agenda with this?
Well, the gay crowd really did kind of take the movie back in like the 90s, and yeah, that's kind of what ruined it for me. Is when you get a bunch of angry lesbians calling you a breeder.
But it still counts.
And here's get all that.
Oh, Birdcage is another one, even if you count the remake. But number 2 has to be Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. Yeah. So we got number 1 is Blazing Saddles, number 2 is that, and then everything else Guess Who's Coming to Knitter or whatever. You figure out the rest. Tootsie was another one mentioned a couple times.
Oh yeah, Tootsie.
That's a good one.
What about the fish that saved Pittsburgh? Predominantly black cast. I mean,
well, speaking of fish, a fish called Wanda, very strong female lead in that. She's the strongest, smartest character in the movie. I mean, there you go.
Yeah. 10 movies that were woke before the wake woked.
What do you think about this? Is this one Matilda? Would that be one? Matilda, young girl?
Why not? Strong female character,
right?
Aliens.
Yeah.
Chat.
I don't know about Blade. I don't think so.
Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Tom, I still haven't seen The Man Who Sued God.
That's a good answer too, because we talked about that with Alex.
And not only that, you had actual diversity. You had,
I was Alice. What's her face? Jesus.
Lisa Wilcox.
Lisa Wilcox.
Yeah, but not only did it have diversity and a strong female character, you had representation of all kinds of different walks of life. You had Kincaid, you had mental illness representation.
3.
Oh yeah.
Part 3 is Dream. Well, second one, of course, is famously the gay Nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of you could almost do a special section for horror movies because horror movies have notoriously always had strong female characters. As far as but yeah, if somebody wants to put that together, just give me a shout out for coming up with the idea. I'd love the hell out of it. I'll share the shit out of it. I just don't think that's something Andre'd let us do.
Well, hell, wasn't there there's the 90s remake of the original Night of the Living Dead where the female character ends up becoming the one who is the badass.
Well, you could put almost all of the Dead movies on that list.
Yeah.
To be honest,
that's
with
true.
for various reasons.
3.
The first one just for the black lead. The second one just for a lot of different. Yeah, they're all. And then Dog Day Afternoon. Yeah, that's another good one. There's a lot of great. You could, like I said, you could probably do a list of almost like 50 movies. 3 men and a baby, 3 men and a little lady.
Because they decide that they're like the first people who ever did anything. It's just disgusting.
I know, and that's what I want to do. That's why I think that list would be great. I mean, it just to show, Junior. My nipples are very sensitive.
Oh my God, yeah.
They really hurt.
Oh shit.
All right, Nelson Shred, are you back, Rob?
What?
No, not Rob's not back. He said be right back.
No.
Nelson Shred sent us $2. Glee had a Rocky episode, couldn't use transvestite.
What?
Yeah, that was so fucking stupid. I never watched Glee, but I heard about that. They edited around a bunch of crap, even though they've got gay characters in the show, which is really even dumber than that. But they hid behind something to do with a family business, but it's like, yeah, right, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. What's Rocky Horror without a sweet transvestite?
And the reason that probably is, Jeremy, is because Romero was very attached to that movie, the remake. I mean, it's because Savini was like, basically one of the main reasons they made it was just to get Romero some money for once for that movie, because he never got any money from the original version. So
really,
when Rob gets back, there's that special Mother's Day Star Trek article. We actually read
right, we'll
it
do that real quick. Yeah,
and
that'll be a good one to go out on.
He needs to have an aneurysm about it.
Oh, jeez.
They claim that like all of the worst characters in Star Trek are a great example of motherhood, and this woman subjects an 11-year-old to. I did a video on this without reading the article, and then I got one now where we actually read the article coming that'll probably come up tomorrow. But yeah,
is that the article where they compared the drug-addicted black woman as a great mother? Is that what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Stereotypes. Insert here.
Oh shit! I missed something, man. This will be interesting to talk about.
Oh
yeah. When Rob gets back, I'll have him read it for you. It's great.
Yeah, that'll be a good one to take us out on for Mother's Day. You back yet, Rob?
I think Star Trek Discovery is probably some of the worst piece of shit human beings that I've ever seen in Star Trek.
Hail to that.
You got the link you can share there.
Yeah, let me get it here. Look at characters like 7 of 9, for example. She went from being a character you could look up to a character I look down on because I'm better than her.
Damn.
Well, I didn't even watch that much of that show, and I can tell she's not the same character.
I watched all of them.
Oh. Well, you're finally back, Rob.
Yeah, I said to be right back.
Sir, how high are you? No, officer, you're wrong. It's high. How are you?
I'm just kidding. Rob doesn't get high. No, before you left, you were going to say something about The Man Who Sued God. You definitely need to see that movie. That movie could almost be on that list.
Hey, we gonna
read that article, Rob.
Hey.
We were on the Death Star the other night, man.
Oh yeah, man, that was yeah, we were on the Death Star, man.
We got out just before that motherfucker blew up, man.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know who I think it was, man? Remember that kid whose house we set on fire?
Oh shit. He's probably pissed, man.
Oh yeah, man. He must be really mad at us, man.
Well, I didn't mean to do it, man. I just, that guy's coming around the way, and I had to throw that joint. I didn't know the whole fucking place was gonna go up in flames, man. It's a fucking desert.
I told you, man. Watch where you throw that thing. It's a desert. Everything all dried out, man.
Yeah, man, but nothing's gonna burn, man. And it's all dry and shit. Nothing's there.
Hey, man, let's go back, man. We can start our own weed farm.
You need moisture, man. That's why they got all those stupid fucking evaporators around there, man.
Yeah, man. And there's nobody around, man. Nobody will get hassled by the cops. Oh man, it'd be sweet.
That's right. We are the cops, man.
We are the cops, man. Yeah.
That's right. But aren't they going to be looking for us, man?
Nah, I don't think so, man. All the clones come in, man. All the guys they look just like us, so there's no problem.
You think they'll think we died in the Death Star, man?
Yeah, man. Like I said, they got bigger problem, man.
Oh shit, I got a big problem, man. It means we ain't got no more fucking insurance, man. I got a dentist appointment next week.
Oh man, hey man, but go down to Mos Eisley, man. There's a guy in my cousin. He'll take care of them for you.
Are you kidding, man? That's a hive of scum and villainy.
Oh man, my cousin Ricky, man. You take care of it.
Exactly. Man. That's what I'm fucking talking about, man. He still owes me $20, man.
Oh man. Hey man, hey man, what are we gonna do about the thing though, man?
What thing?
You know the thing, man.
I don't know what thing. There's lots of things, man.
Yo, man, we got.
That's a thing. That's a thing. That's that's a bunch of sand, man. But still, a thing.
The white thing, man. The powder.
Oh yeah, man. You still got it?
Yeah, man. I still got it, man. We almost out though.
Oh shit, man. Well, I know this guy named Watto. Let's go.
Oh, okay, man. Isn't the dude that runs a junkyard? He got
that man. Yeah, he's got good shit.
Oh, okay. That little kid still working for him?
Maybe.
Oh, okay, man. Hey, check it out, man. Hey, check it out, man. Hey, little kid, man. He goes, waves his hand. He's just like, woo, he pod racing. And he goes, woo, I put $20 on him last time.
Yeah, I remember when he got $20 off me because he was waving his hand.
Yeah, man. And then that dude with the beard showed up, man. Remember him?
The beard or the beard?
The beard, man. The dude with the beard. And he had that chick with him. And that dude with the big floppy ears, man.
Oh, Jar Jar, man. He's pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
I think he was like Rastafarian.
Yeah, man. He got maybe he's got the good stuff, man. Maybe we could buy some weed off of him.
I tried, man, but he's so fucked up, man. He didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. He's like, me's a no is a no. He's lying.
Okay, come on. Okay, come on, man. We have to go back into town, okay?
Yeah, man, let's go. All right, that's enough of that shit.
My scrotum.
Oh, I'm so glad that I smoked a bunch before that happened.
Now I'm an aneurysm reading the Star Trek article.
I'm like, can I just hire you guys to like do that for me?
Yeah.
That's great.
Stormtroopers don't like to get up in the morning.
Like you were telling the story of Star Wars as if Cheech and Chong were walking through the movie.
Still better than The Last Jedi.
Totally.
Yes, absolutely.
Stormtroopers couldn't hit the side of a broad barn, even if they weren't drunk.
Beautiful.
Hey, man, this guy Luke Skyjacker, man, he had that really sharp short, you know. He's like brown and like tan, man. But then the guys with the mummy guys, they come and they beat him. Like, I want to give it. He almost got carjacked, man. Oh man, that was bad.
Those were your fucking cousins, weren't they?
Yeah, my cousin Ricky, man. He almost carjacked him.
I told you, man. He's nothing but scum and villainy.
I told him not to go to East Mos Eisley, man. Especially a white dude like you, man. Come on.
No, you told us to go to Mos Eisley, man.
Yeah, man. It's because my cousin Ricky runs a garage down there, man.
You're so fucked up. You don't even know what you're talking about. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
All right. Star Trek's depiction of motherhood are changing for the better.
Oh, it's already shit.
Oh, thank you for teaching us the more woke of the wokeness.
Because
arrested.
I've always thought of motherhood when I hear the words Star and Trek.
Well, just listen to what the examples are.
I'm a mother. You're a mother. We're all mothers inside. I missed that Star Trek episode, I guess.
So this
we had a
you'll have
Shelby.
Shelby Gull Laird, who is like, she proves herself to be the ultimate wine mom.
Just call her Karen for short.
Yeah, she's a Karen. She gave me a smirk that sideways glance I'm used to as the mom of a preteen. All I was guilty of was looking over at her to see her reaction to the TV. I laughed and she scoffed at me for a bit. Then we went back to our couch snuggling. I hope I still have at least a year or two of snuggling left, but we'll see. I'm grateful that Star Trek has been one of my shows my daughter and I get to watch together. We began watching Discovery at my insistence, and it has been.
Yes.
Well, first off, if this is a preteen, she's fucking 11. What are you doing subjecting your 11-year-old daughter to Klingorks and
baby heads?
Baby heads and
sexual
anyway, sorry, Rob.
Yeah, and Klingork sexual assault,
and
that poor dude. And it has been incredible to begin introducing my
Jason
child
Isaacs
to the older Star Trek I love, as well as exploring new shows together. It is a joy for me to watch her relate to Star Trek. It's almost like I've been watching my daughter and the world of Star Trek mature simultaneously.
What?
Growing up as a girl in the 90s who loved Star Trek was sometimes awkward, but we've all heard that
This
story.
isn't maturing. This is
the story.
retardation.
I gotta go throw up. I'm gonna go. Oh God, I'm gonna lose my lunch, dude.
Would you report this woman to Child Protective Services, please?
Dig it.
This is the story who grew up loving Star Trek, who is now a mom watching her daughter discover Star Trek in a very different world, a mom watching a bold new exploration of motherhood in science fiction.
Was she drunk when she was watching Star Trek in the 90s? Because I don't
get this wine here. Let's watch Discovery.
I'm so happy that wine comes in juice boxes now.
You're gonna love it. Shut up. Shut your brat face. You're gonna love it.
Nobody knows how drunk I really am. I don't even know.
I've watched
these things go down like so fast. Another one.
I've watched my daughter bloom while viewing Star Trek Discovery, arguably the most diverse collections of characters in the Star Trek universe. It reflects our world.
Someone didn't watch TOS.
Our world. My childhood saw a world filled with hope, and many Star Trek episodes reflected that feeling with a sense of justice and the ultimate triumph of good. But much like the future of the Discovery's crew as they ended their second season with a jump into the unknown, our future now feels so uncertain.
This sucks camel dicks.
Oh, that's a good one.
With a universe that she can relate to in feeling, but daughter has also had an easier time finding characters to latch onto as well. When I asked my daughter who her favorite characters were in Discovery, she said Spock because he has dyslexia like me. And
I don't believe you.
Yeah, that's where I interrupt and start saying, okay, quit using a learning disability that I have as a way to lie to your idiot child and to thinking that she has a super fucking power and that all people need their little whatever. No, you don't want to lie to them. They already covered this on the Cosby Show and Theo had dyslexia and it just said, yeah, I'm no different than anybody else. I just read letters backwards, right? Yeah. They've already done this in a way that was A, diverse, B, representative, and C, not lying to your idiot child.
She says her other character, and Tilly, because she's weird and awkward, also like me. Seeing unique characters who can thrive in the face of uncertainty using logic, critical thinking, and teamwork is essentially for our children to see modeled for them as they grow into the mid-21st century. Yeah, bullshit.
How many F-bombs does Tilly drop?
Grow?
All they do is...
I remember when I had my first beer.
Solve the problem. I'm sure glad you were here, Mikey Spock. You're the bestest ever. Picard also models what it means to lead others. No, it doesn't, because all he does is stand around and apologize to everybody.
Is
Even
that
with-
my cue?
Yes, it is.
And I don't mean cue. I wish I had a cue, but is that my cue to apologize for something? What should I do now?
Stop being cheeky feckers.
You're a white man, Jean-Luc.
I'm so sorry.
Even with the fiercely independent crew, through integrity, love, connection, and forgiveness, these values and drugs, these values often seem absent or minimally present in our world. My daughter and I have even bonded over our agreement that Picard is the best captain. Of course, she's 11 and doesn't quite yet fully understand that my swooning over Patrick Stewart clouds my opinion.
Oh, thank God you said 11 there for a second. I thought you were going to say something else.
I'm sure it's coming soon. Phrasing.
She's the type who would,
Hey, phrasing.
Sorry, Mecca, what were you saying?
she's the type who's going to make sure her daughter knows well past her years all these adult things because she's subjecting her to fucking Star Trek Discovery with all of its F-bombs and.
Mommy, why did they rip that man's eye out?
Star Trek Discovery and Picard are for mature audiences, all right? Like 16, maybe. But you know what? It's not for an 11-year-old. It is not geared toward that demographic. It shouldn't be. And if it is by the people that made it, I question their ethics.
Okay, well, here we go. It gets even better. Season 2 of Discovery and Picard's debut are both full of themes surrounding motherhood, a topic rarely covered in the Star Trek universe.
What?
Beverly Crusher.
Though Dr. Crusher
what?
And became a more complex character as the next generation progressed, her competence and responsibility as a doting mother of a smart and stubborn teen was nothing if not predictable. And though
You serious?
And though I imagine teenage boys might be able to relate to this mothering experience, navigating the teen years for a mother and a daughter can look very different. Discovery embraces these nuances through a thorough exploration of Mikey Spock's interaction with her three mother figures, Amanda, Gabrielle, and Georgiou, each unique in their own right. Picard
Georgiou's a fucking murderer.
Jesus.
You are Dr. Stephen Walton, author Stephen Walton. You are agog at this.
And did they even bring up the Klingon bitch? She's a murderer too.
I can't form words.
Let's. Picard also explores motherhood through the trials of Raffi as she navigates motherhood through her addiction, and 7 of 9 as she seeks the death of her foster son Icheb.
Yeah, 7 of 9 didn't have to kill Icheb. He didn't have the cortical node. Raffi abandoned her kid and was a damn junkie.
Yeah, that went nowhere. Absolutely fucking nowhere. And the kid was in the right. Adam Alford sent $5. My 9-year-old can't watch Star Trek Discovery or Star Trek Picard. Too much violence and sex. Well, we know he means sex. But it probably won't let him say that in the super chats. I know there's just way too goddamn much saxophone in that fucking show. We watch old school Star Trek. Oh God, Lord. TNG and Deep Space Nine and Voyager. Well, good for you, Wilford.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. I mean, you don't force it upon them, but if they enjoy the classics, more power to them.
Because a tyrant probably killed millions.
Okay. My son, is more of a Star Wars kid than a Star Trek kid. But I haven't demanded him to watch anything. If he has interest in it, he can watch it. The only thing I wanted him to watch with me was Star Trek 2, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay, well, for me, she continues on.
Oh,
for me, it has been validating to watch the love of Michael's mothers, her biological mother, foster mother, and mirror universe adoptive mother. Try to guide a smart and stubborn woman along her journey. One of the most touching scenes in Discovery was the reappearance of Michael's biological mother. Imagine watching Gabrielle appear, and the pure joy I felt when my daughter enthusiastically screamed, "It's her mom!"
Don't ruin my Greek cred, but I might have shed a few tears, especially as mother and daughter struggle to connect, knowing they may never see one another again. Amanda is the much
Can I barf yet?
No, you will. Amanda is the much more. I refrain on barfing until I finish this paragraph. Now, then you will be. Then you will. Then I'll say what's okay. Amanda is a much more traditional mother, a comforting mother and loving presence with both of her children, while Mira Georgiou attempts, in her own somewhat evil way, to guide my in acts that might only seem like attempts at kindness. Commence gendering.
This is why we need an IQ card to designate.
Did you say commence gendering, or is that in the fucking article? I'm sorry, Stephen Walter. I had to ask that.
Gendering.
Is it really in the article?
No, I'm saying you may commence gendering.
Okay, thank you. I was about to lose it like a motherfucker there for a second.
I need a puke sound.
Who needs a puke sound? I'm about to fucking do it for real here.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Services on this one.
It gets even better. Were I less secure in my parenting, I might be trouble.
Oh God, there's more.
What?
Oh no.
Mira Georgiou. Her daughter insists Mira Georgiou is one of her favorite characters on Discovery. All mothers try their best to shove and gently steer or lead their children throughout life. The morality and ethical lessons of older Star Trek series, coupled with the broad gray areas and themes of the newer shows, can help us to start deep conversations with our kids as they try to find their own moral compass in the world. She's a homicidal killer.
Yes.
That's okay because she's a mother figure.
I've had enough. Go ahead.
She's only a mother figure the same way that any of these, if you search not your mother and daughter on any of these Rob Giggity sites, that is as much of a mother figure as Burnham.
Poop mouth. I can't form the words. I feel like I have been made dumber by listening to that article. Yeah, you're not a good parent.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Yes.
Now continue what you were saying, Steve.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much. I was laughing the whole time. And you're not a good parent. That is not a kid's show. What are you bonding over a child with those types of themes? You are a person who is more concerned with indoctrination conditioning your child than you are allowing your child to figure out what they are and what they like. You're the type of person that would give them hormone changing drugs. You're before they even hit puberty or know what the hell they are. Like you are definitely in that circle of group. So congratulations. You are the type of fandom that CBS Star Trek wanted to fandom engineer and get them into as their support base and kick out those of us that have loved Star Trek since our parents loved Star Trek. And thank you for I'm not giving you my money. I'm definitely not giving CBS Trek my money, but you can. You go right ahead and you share those experiences with her. And then later on in life, when she's desensitized to things that she should have discovered naturally on her own, you can blame yourself for exposing her to the type of themes that are as bad as STD and STP. Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to try a little experiment. I wanted to see if I could write an episode of Star Trek that was better than Discovery, and I actually did record it. I want to share now the writing process with you. This is my attempt. This is the recording. These are the notes from my trying to write an episode of Star Trek better than Discovery. Give it to us, Rob. That's right. I can shit out a better episode of Star Trek than Discovery. Right.
Oh, great Odin's Raven.
I don't know, Geek or Ords, are you guys Trek fans?
Yeah, here's my thing. Okay, so I love The Next Generation. That's probably my favorite I have a big appreciation for the original season, the original series. My favorite character is Q.
Yeah,
I just love his tenacity.
yeah, John Delancey. Every time one of his episodes would come up, you knew it was going to be fun.
Yeah, it was so good. And yeah, so really most of my experience is staying up late night as a young kid, and they would show reruns of Deep Space Nine and all of those. So I've never actually watched those like from beginning of season to end of to end of series. Beginning of series to end of series, but I love the Next Generation. I love that whole first with all the Q stuff. I love that. The storytelling to me is what I really love about Star Trek is you have really great storytelling wrapped in some really strange, odd, interesting packages.
Yeah, it's stories that make you think.
Yeah,
and that's what I like the most about it is that it was never preaching at you. It was giving you a scenario or situation, usually with multiple perspectives of that scenario or situation, and it let the viewer consume it in an entertainment escapism medium. But it also gave you the opportunity to think about the subject that was being talked about, and that's what I loved about Old Trek.
Yeah, it's like it just shows you don't have to have a huge budget. Even as YouTubers, you don't have to have a huge studio. You can make great things with very little, as long as the storytelling is great, as long as the passion is there, and yeah, it just goes to show you, man, on a little budget you can make great storytelling.
Geekblend?
Yeah, actually, I never really got into Star Trek a lot. I've seen some episodes of Next Generation, and of course, I've seen some of the classic episodes, and of course, some of the original movies, and I've had to sit through the JJ stuff, of course. But I actually started watching the original series from the beginning. I saw it on Hulu a couple weeks ago. So I'm like, I'm going to watch this through, and I'm going to watch the Next Generation all the way through. I'm kind of looking forward to doing that, and but I've been told do not watch Discovery or Picard. And I've talked with Lost Jedi 22 about a lot of stuff, so he's told me a lot about it. But
actually, I would say if you get through, if you like the original and you like the 90s, the late 80s, 90s stuff, in the movies, I would say watch Discovery and see the difference, for yourself from a fresh eye.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to watch the original series all the way through. Like I said, I've seen episodes here and there on TV when I was a kid, but like I've never watched the whole thing all the way through.
Right. That's cool. I mean, I'm glad that people like you that haven't really watched TOS or TNG or any of the subsequent series are starting to watch it. Spork and News Podcast just started watching. He's talking to me about the stories and bringing up things and memories from when I first watched it. Such as how much everyone was a dick to Wesley Crusher. He calls me up the other day. He's like, Picard's a dick to people. I was like, yeah, early Picard was a dick to everybody.
Oh yeah. He had no time for any foolishness.
Nope. Keep those things away from me, Riker. That's what Scott said. He goes, number one, keep those little creatures away from me at all times.
You never know if one of those little bastards might be yours. You don't want to catch one thinking it's daddy. Then you've got to support it and play with it and send it to school and worry about buying a puppy. Shit I don't want to do. I just want to drive dune buggies and look at boobs.
Right. Why did Jean-Luc sign up? I understand it was the flagship, but to a ship with kids, we didn't like kids. And B, why were there kids on the Enterprise? These are discussions that we should be having instead of how bad STD is.
Yeah.
I remember those conversations.
Well, it was.
I'm a firm believer in the only good thing about children is making them.
The explanation they give is that they don't want to be away from their families.
Yeah, well, no, I get that. Yeah, I mean,
they value family so much that they don't want to be away. That they take them with them wherever they go.
But you know what I really did? Well, in that one episode where they brought Tasha Yar back, when the I can't think of the name of the ship, that the time rift, where they had where the Enterprise was a war vessel, and it made more sense to me that in the sense that it was a war vessel and a troop transport, the size of it, the Galaxy class, but
Enterprise C, yeah.
The Enterprise C,
great
episodes, man.
You know, they never show, not that it would make much of a difference, but they never show, like I said, troop transport. They never show Starfleet or anything having an infantry or anything like that.
Well, yeah, they didn't show the military aspect of it, except for in Enterprise they had it a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah. Let me see. Does the Federation have an infantry? Let me see.
It should have. Yes, it has an infantry because Miles O'Brien was in the Cardassian Wars. I can't think of the captain in that one PNG episode, but he's talked about it many a times. Damn Cardies.
Okay. Probably. Yeah, Starfleet Marine Corps. Yeah. Descended naval infantry based upon Marines and Army infantry. Yeah. Starfleet Marine Corps. Okay. That's that answers that question. You got to figure any militarized armada or whatever or body has, you're going to need actual people on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as, and carriers too. I always questioned that they never had carriers, like fighters, starfighters. But I mean, Star Trek was always, they militarized when they had to. And the old Constitution class could destroy an entire continent with its payload. So, I mean, those ships did pack a punch.
Yeah, they would want to, the Starfleet Marine Corps, they probably would, if they needed to take a planet in one piece rather than just bombard it, So, or if they were provide security for someone.
I mean, they got their. I mean, and this is why I don't like STD. The Klingon, the first Klingon War, that should have been the whole first season. Like they should have really went in depth on that because that was really, I think that was one of the first times the Federation had to militarize was against the Klingons, and it would last like 5 minutes, and then we got Klingorks. God, I was so pissed.
Yeah, one thing we keep saying is that. The people who keep saying, "Oh, well, Michael Burnham's not a Mary Sue." Michael Burnham. I don't understand the problem you have with Michael Burnham. And I keep saying she started an interstellar war.
Right.
She cost the lives. She caused people to lose their lives by the millions. By the tens of millions, she assaulted her captain, staged a mutiny, got most of her crew killed.
Damn it, Rob! She was stunning and brave.
she got most of the
word is what she is. The character, not the actress, obviously. But
yeah, she was tried for treason. She should have been locked up and thrown away the key. And still, she's treated like she's the smartest motherfucker in the room. Stunning and brave.
Stunning and brave.
Stunning and brave.
Stunning and brave.
And I like the actress. I liked her in The Walking Dead. I looked forward to the series, and then it punched me in the crotch area.
Nobody has anything against Seneca Martin Green.
Yeah, Snake was gorgeous.
Yeah, Steve, were you out in Star Trek Las Vegas last year?
No,
but the way they talked about Seneca Martin Green, you think that she was Michael Burnham?
Really?
Oh, Seneca Martin, she's so great. She's so great. She has such proud. Oh, she's just so great, so great. I'm pretty sure they got prompted by the PR department. Make sure you say how great Seneca is. Oh, she's so great. She's so great. And there is a distinct rift between the older casts and the new cast. Did we tell you about that?
No.
I mean, the panels with the older cast, especially Voyager, they would say openly, he says, listen, I don't know why this is such a big deal, diversity. We were diverse before anybody.
Right.
You could tell that they were pissed about it. Because everybody's making such a big thing about diversity. We were diverse well before it. They were. Roxana Dawson, she was, she said it. Peter Billingsley.
Because SJWs and their culture do not respect anything that came before. Anything that came before them is oppression. None of the achievements made by anyone in history, any country, any culture, any movement, everything. It doesn't matter. It was that was all bad. They are breaking Brie Larson's glass ceiling.
Yes. And I'm wondering how many of them recognize people like Little Richard and Chuck Berry as the forerunners of rock and roll.
They're the patriarchy, man. Don't bring that up. They're the patriarchy.
They would recognize that now.
I hate to say it, guys, but I gotta get rolling. It is.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna
blast.
check this. We're gonna probably check out anyway.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, why don't we start with Ords? Why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and where they can find you?
Well, you guys can find me over at youtube.com/ordsboard, where I'm doing pop culture news and video game streams. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the same handle. You guys can also find my work over at Omni Lucid Media Games. If you guys like Vikings, if you guys like board games, I've got some friends who are putting together an amazing board game right now, and you can learn all about that at Omni Lucid Media Games on YouTube. So go check us out there. Thank you, Tom, for having me, man. It's always
Anytime,
a blast.
brother. All right. The Geek Blend. Tell them a little bit about yourself, where they can find you.
All right. I am Jeff. I am the Geek Blend, and you can find me at youtube.com/the Geek Blend. Also on Twitter and Instagram. I do a lot of Star Wars stuff, pop culture stuff, news things. I also do streaming recommendation shows each week for Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. And I also do a Cantina show on my channel where I do recommend like craft beers and different alcoholic beverages as well. And of course, me and Lost Jedi 22 and Raging Rhino do our Raging Geek Jedi show every Saturday night at 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right after Shenanigans. And Tom, thanks for having me on. I do appreciate it. It's been a blast.
Not a problem, man.
I hope to get some of you guys on our show as well too.
Whenever we're available. Stephen Walton, the author of The Phantom Menace. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hail to my brothers and sisters in the chat. I am author Stephen Walton, the Phantom Menace historian, your historian, born in there with you in the chats of great people like Mecha Random 42 and Midnight's Edge. Check me out on my channel, author Stephen Walton, or on Twitter at Lodonis, Lodonis. Thank you, all of you, for being here. We appreciate it. We're doing this to entertain you. Glad that you're here. Would be nothing without you. And hail to my brothers and sisters on the panel. Please sub to everybody if you have not. Thank you to Tom, Rob, and hail Mecha Random.
And speaking of Mecha, who is, of course, our fifth Beatle, or whatever you want to call her, our Robin. Tell them a little bit about yourself, what you got coming up on your channel. I think you said you're going to be working on a video here.
Yeah, it's basically the follow-up to the video that dropped this afternoon. I did a basic reaction to just their tweet on a stream earlier, so that's what you guys have up now. Now it's the whole article read from last night's stream if you missed it. So that is one of the things I've been doing. I'm trying to stream more, so definitely check your notifications and click the bells and everything so you don't miss them. And if you do miss them, I'm clipping a lot of videos and doing a lot of original videos too that you don't see on stream. So about a 50-50 mix, I would say, give or take. Watch my channel now.
All right. So, Rob, why don't you take us out here?
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us this Sunday Funday. Everybody be excellent to each other, as Jeff always says. We get a minimum effort puppy for that. We will catch you next time.
So pissed.